I think hatred of Jewish people has exploded in this country. And I don't think I think it's because it's of our support of what looks to be an absolute brutality. And I think that
you think that's a justification for anti-Semitism?
Here's the thing:
you
is
think
like,
Israeli government policy is a justification for anti-Semitism? My view is there's no justification for anti-Semitism.
I think that
there's zero justification for anti-Semitism.
Okay, you're deflecting again.
I'm not deflecting. That's my position.
What does it look like to have a flag with a Jewish star and I'm Jewish, and for kids to be starving right now? And why is my government? I don't want to do this fight. Let's not do like a yelling at each other thing. I really just, for me, I had the experience of.
It just sounds like you're justifying anti-Semitism, which making me feel like.
Are you crazy right now?
Okay.
Why would I do that? You're doing the I'm Hamas thing?
I'm not saying.
But I don't know how can he say, how can Adam, and I hate to use it, he stole your name. Okay. He's besmirching your good name. Adam Friedland here. Co-host of Cumtown, socialist podcast.
Oh, I know. Fucking ridiculous. Obviously, they go for the most disgusting thing they can think of. Bunch of cum guzzlers.
Of course. He literally says in the beginning, and earlier in this clip, he's like, yes, people see the Israeli flag with the Jewish star. It's, increasing anti-Semitism, blah, blah, blah. And then Ritchie Torres is like, I think that's stupid and ridiculous. And then Adam Friedland's like, what, you think I'm saying that the war that Israel is making people anti-Semitic? That's what you just said. That's what you just fucking said.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's interesting because I was watching this, and I mean, the meme out there is that Ritchie Torres was ridiculous and completely got destroyed by Adam Friedland, right?
Oh my God.
And once again, I mean, I'm on the opposite side of the fucking internet, right? The internet is a bunch of people who are anti-Semites, a bunch of people who are fucking anti-government, a bunch of people who are anti-involvement in anything. It's all the antis. So of course they're going to rally to Adam Friedland's side. I mean, he sounds like a whiny little bitch.
Well, there's two elements. There's the content, and then there's the way in which Adam Friedland talks, this is the first time I think I've ever heard Adam Friedland talk.
Yeah.
Or do an interview or something.
I've never heard him before this.
Right. So putting aside the content of the interview for a second, because the first half of the interview, like, they don't even talk about Israel. It's
boring as fuck. Oh my God.
Like Torres' background.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Ritchie Torres is very the whole time he's very monotone, which is why I don't think he'll be able to win for presidency or higher office. He just doesn't have charisma unless he was hiding it for this interview. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Ritchie Torres interviews, but he seems a little bit autistic, but that's fine. I say it from one autistic person to the next. He just needs to emote a little bit more, but it's kind of boring. Just going into his background, he's fine. He's had a very hard life. He grew up very impoverished conditions and, worked his way up to a very good station in life. And I do like that he's very anti-woke. He's the guy who sent the letter to Twitch to say, what the fuck's going on with Hassan? So I like all that stuff. But for Adam Friedland, from the way in which he presents himself, again, devoid of the content, you could hate Israel with all your heart and soul. Adam Friedland is your worst warrior, your worst fighter on this ground. He has one of the most obnoxious ways I've ever heard a person interact with a human in my life. I don't it's as if he watched, it's as if he was a child and he watched all the Woody Allen movies and said, I'm going to take all the worst negative qualities of how Woody Allen does a bit and caricatures himself for comedy, and I'm going to become that person in real life. It's so hard to watch.
It's interesting that you compare him to Woody Allen. I hadn't thought of that, but there is a bit of a comparison there. He sounds like he's begging. Everything he says, he sounds like he's begging, just pleading.
Yes.
Like he's the smallest person in the world, just pleading for a little attention. Oh, it's annoying. It's totally annoying.
And not only is it annoying because you're right, pleading, begging, everything, but he has this really weird way, in which we'll show because we're going to watch longer parts of this clip. he has this really weird, like, everything he does is like passive aggressive, but like very insulting to you at the same time. It's all very like not stereotypically masculine coded, where you're just like, okay, just
Yeah.
tell me straight up what you think, what you feel, and we can like have a conversation about that. It's all this like just whiny, passive aggressive. Oh God,
It's all
drives me
female
crazy.
coded, totally female coded.
Yes.
Like, oh, what did I do, honey? You should know what you did. Right?
Right. It's like,
it's all in
oh
that
no.
all in that ballpark, right?
Oh God. And
Ah,
as it's
ah.
so and you're right, like everyone, because before I saw this, everyone was not everyone.
Oh,
All
they
the
were
people from
sucking his dick all over the
yes,
fucking internet.
yes,
Oh my God, this is the end of Ritchie Torres' career. Well, it turns out all those people are just completely biased against Israel in the Israel-Palestine war.
100%.
Those people,
100%. Yeah.
all those people use the word genocide, ethnic cleansing at least 150 times a day. That's
Right.
That's exactly where they're coming from. They're like, "Oh my God, our warrior." Well, it turns out your warrior is a soy boy piece of shit. But look,
Yes.
you got to take what you can get, right? You got to take
I
what you can
guess.
get in this situation. Just
I guess.
I find it so hard to believe, and this is a complete internet phenomenon because I do not believe the normies of America are out there crying for the Palestinian children. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a minute.
Yeah.
They're like, look,
Yeah.
you started a war, okay? War sucks. Guess what? Fuck around, find out.
It's really just people who have strong opinions about Israel and they just already agree with Adam Friedland. So they're like, oh my God, he totally annihilated, as opposed to just watching it objectively and saying, okay, even if I agree with Adam Friedland's positions, like the way in which he handles the substance conversation is crazy and horrible. And it's also
even
it's
in the
funny
end, he throws Ritchie Torres under the bus by slipping a clip in there that supposedly seems like it was supposed to be off the record. I'm like, what the fuck?
right. Yes.
This guy's a complete like evil person.
After we watch the interview, we have to go back, and I just remember this. We have to go back. Remind me, we have to go back and watch Adam Friedland's ad rates because they're so bad. Like doesn't like they're so bad. He gives the worst ad reads of all times. Like he doesn't give a fuck. But then on top of that, they're for products that are like, really, this is what these socialist podcast hosts. He's shilling gambling services. He's shilling tobacco. Like he's shilling all these addictive things that are generally thought of as bad for society while crying to Ritchie Torres about this. It's mind blowing to me.
So someone in the chat says Palestinian children started a war. Of course, the Palestinian children did not start the war. Okay. Obviously, Hamas started the war. Okay. But in this situation, you don't see Jewish people going out there and using Jewish children as human fucking shields. Okay. You don't see that happening for a reason, because it's a subservient culture that is going to actually use their civilians, their innocent people, as cannon fodder for their own cause. Okay. They got a fucked up society there, and that needs to change. And that needs to change in a very tough love kind of way. That's just the reality of the situation.
The reality situation is people put aside the whole, oh my God, who started it? Because that's irrelevant to reality. Like you can argue about that from, you want to make some moral argument, but let's talk about like how this would work in the world. Okay. How it's going to work in reality. Okay. The cold hard reality situation is that after October 7th, when, Hamas attacked Israel, no country, regardless of who you want to complain about is who caused it or who's at fault or whatever, because of something that happened 60 years ago. Okay. The reality situation is Israel is going to react to that. And they really only have two ways of reacting to this. And the first way is the way that they're doing right now, which is obviously leading to, incredible amounts of civilian casualties to the Palestinian people in Gaza. And the second way is for Israel to say, okay, in order to try to minimize Palestinian casualties, we're going to occupy Gaza and just slowly sweep the entire region, mile by mile, foot by foot, to try to clear out every single tunnel and just wipe out Hamas, because Hamas is a gangster-like terrorist organization that not only attacks Israel but subjugates its own people, and it's impossible to really have peace until
Well,
Hamas
look,
is
I would argue that
annihilated.
that's impossible. I would argue that that is
No, no,
impossible, that they
right.
don't have the manpower to do that.
I
So
well, I was
option
getting
two
there.
is not
I was getting
actually
there. Right.
possible.
I was getting there. Right. And the problem for Israel with situation number 2 is I don't think they have the manpower to do that, to
Well,
occupy
and they would take
all
higher
this stuff.
casualties,
Right.
obviously.
And
Yes.
and then number 2, as you said, Israel would take significantly higher casualties. And this would take years. This would
Yes.
be, Iraq for America situation. This would take years. It could take a decade. Israel would take, a lot
All
of
these
casualties.
buildings are booby trapped. Keep that in mind. That's why they're
Yes.
blowing them up, is because they can't go in there safely.
Right. It'd be this thing for Israel. So at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe you would say, hey, well, Israel should still do that because, they'll be protecting more Palestinian lives. Or maybe you say, well, Israel's going to say, fuck that. We're going to protect our own citizens and sacrifice more Palestinian civilians for that.
Yeah.
So that's obviously Israel went with choice number 1. But this is my problem.
What choice did we go with in
this.
Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we
American
went with number 2.
service. Yeah, American service. Well, no, we weren't sacrificing American service members. If we went into a place, we were severely overpowered. So
Well, no. First of all, we were sacrificing a lot of American service members, but we were sacrificing more Iraqi and Afghanistan people that were working with us too, which wouldn't really be happening, I think, in the Israel situation. I don't know if they could get a bunch of like Gazans to support them. So
the Israeli people would not be behind option 2.
No, I don't think they would.
Israeli service members, and I don't think
Right.
the American citizens would be behind us sacrificing a bunch of our servicemen to be magnanimous to some enemy that attacked us and took hostages that they're still in possession of.
Yes.
Holy
yes.
fucking
If-
shit. No one
if
would
this
stand
was,
for that shit.
If this situation happened to America, it would, no one would support that. Israel, and also if like Israel did go with number 2, they'd have to, basically beg for support from America, Europe, because again, I don't think they really have the manpower to even do all that anyway. They just don't have the people to take over that entire region, that capacity. But my only point for bringing up these 2 things is that I don't think people really address or think about how this would play out in reality. They just want kind of a magical solution, which I would want a magical solution where no one dies. That'd be fantastic. But I don't think people really game this out. And I've never heard anyone on the very anti-Israel side actually lay out something that seems even remotely feasible, a feasible, logical, realistic behavior for Israel to engage in. I've never seen anyone do that.
Yeah.
Now, again,
Of course
doesn't justify Israel like killing journalists and doing a bunch of other crazy shit. But I'm just saying, for people who constantly are on the anti-Israel side, I don't really hear a lot of actual workable solutions.
They don't have one. Look, it's easy. It's easy to be magnanimous with Israeli soldiers' lives when you're on the sidelines over here. It's very easy to do that. Yeah, it's very easy to say, "Oh, Israel should stomach a terrorist failed state on their border, right? They should just put up with that." It's very easy from over here where we're safe and sound. So,
well, to be fair, that is true. But to be fair, it's easy for us, or it's easy for Israel to say that, to say, okay, well, we're just going to sacrifice, Palestinian civilians to achieve our goal. Like if I'm Palestinian, obviously I'm going to be like, no, Israel, don't do that. Take the other option where, you get more casualties and less Palestinians die. So this is why, I remember like, way back before October 7th, whenever I talked to Israelis about this situation, they'd all kind of say it's a very complicated, like dark situation that doesn't really seem like it has a good answer to it.
yeah.
So, but anyway,
it's so crystal clear for me.
Okay.
Because look, you could save a lot of Palestinian lives if they'd turn those hostages over. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then when I bring that up and people start making excuses for why they have to keep the hostages, I just think, okay, fuck you. Fuck you.
Well, Hamas, I think, is actually, well, obviously Hamas's goals are not aligned with
the people. The Palestinian people.
But I would say even from their own perspective, because like if Hamas did give back all the hostages, I think that would be a better political strategy for them if they had given back all the hostages like a year ago or like very early on. Because even if they gave back all the hostages, the Israeli government would not want to stop the campaign, but that would definitely hamper them from a propaganda standpoint of the rest of the world saying, we got our hostages back, stop bombing Gaza.
Oh yeah, no, it would be optically a nightmare for Israel. Yeah,
right.
But at least they would have their people back. Just right. Intuitively, you're like, wait, they got to get their hostages back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's jump into this.
I think you've established yourself as the fiercest champion of the state of Israel in Congress.
I've never described myself in those terms. But I'm pro-Israel, but those are terms.
Well, I think maybe you've been dubbed that.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I'm a Jewish person. I have my own opinions on this. You have your own opinions, and this is a really frustrating conversation to see people have on the internet. I don't get an opportunity to talk to someone that's making decisions and supporting these things that are a huge deal to people right now.
Sure.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was interesting, and I want to start with you, is that you described your first trip to Israel in 2015 as a life-changing experience. And I just wanted to follow the narrative of you growing up and your struggles and then going into the government. What was that experience like, and what bred that passion for Israel in you?
Well, since I grew up poor my whole life, I never had an opportunity to travel abroad.
Yeah.
So the first time I ever
free trip
went to a foreign country.
So it was life-changing because you went on a trip?
Part of the reason, went abroad for the first time, life-changing. But also, when you experience the complexity of Israel, you go to the old city.
What did you see? What did you witness?
Well, go to the old city.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yad Vashem, which is the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
Go to the Masada, where Jews committed mass suicide to escape enslavement.
Of course, I've hiked up Masada.
The Gaza envelope.
Yeah.
Went to Sderot, spoke to the local mayor who said that.
You went to Gaza?
I did not go to Gaza, no.
What did you say, Gaza envelope?
No, Gaza envelope, which is right on the border with, it's Israel, but it's right at the border with Gaza. So.
It's right next to the fence.
Yeah, it's in the proximity to.
What's at the Gaza envelope? I've never heard that term before.
Sderot.
With the rockets.
Yeah.
Going in. Yeah.
Yeah.
How far is Sderot from Gaza? It's like a mile or something.
Yeah, within a mile.
Yeah. It's right next to it.
Yeah, striking proximity.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's a small place.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, that's why Hamas was able to so easily penetrate on October 7th.
By getting over the fence.
Yeah, and it's so close.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just want to know because it seems like it was powerful, and it seems like it's informed your record, and I that's what's interesting to me. It's your story and how you got here, and I think it's narratively what fascinates me.
Maybe one day you'll give me a chance to tell it. So.
Why are you annoyed by this question?
I'm kidding. So I spoke to the local mayor of Sderot.
I just want to pause there for a second. So. Ritchie Torres says, maybe one day you'll let me tell it. And then Adam Friedland's like, why are you annoyed by this question? So already he's oblivious to this social interaction. He keeps, if you've been paying attention, he keeps interrupting Ritchie Torres every other sentence and not letting him actually lay out sort of the question about why, he feels the way he does about Israel. And then when he's okay, he jokingly is well, maybe you'll let me finish. He's like, what do you mean? And this is a common way in which Adam Friedland interacts, where he will throw out something and then the person reacts to it, and then he either pretends to act confused or is confused because he's autistic. Earlier in this interaction, he's questioning the fact that Ritchie Torres has taken money supposedly from Blackstone or BlackRock or something. And then when Ritchie Torres is making the argument about how that hasn't affected his voting record in terms of making sure that there's affordable housing for people because he grew up in low income housing. Adam Friedland's response is like, "Oh, I don't want to have an argument. I don't want you to get mad at me." It's like, okay, you just accused him of taking a buyout from some large company as part of a conspiracy to keep housing costs up. And then when he defends himself, you like, "Oh, I don't want you to get mad at me. I don't want to fight." And this is just a continual pattern of behavior for Adam Friedland.
Yeah, it seems like he's accusing him of dodging. When he's interrupting,
Yes.
he won't let him finish.
Yes.
Just major bad faith.
I wrote,
Yeah.
and he said to me that the majority of his children struggle with post-traumatic stress because families like his live under the threat of relentless rocket fire. And I remember seeing these bus stops doubling as bomb shelters. You know, I come from the Bronx where people live in fear of bullets and guns, but you know, we in America do not worry about Canada and Mexico firing rockets into American homes and communities. You know, we're a country of 330 million people. We're surrounded by oceans, and Israel's a tiny democracy the size of New Jersey that's literally surrounded by both state and non-state actors that are intent on wiping it off the map. So, you know,
It's funny how the rocket fire never gives Palestine a bad reputation with all of the supporters, all these fucking Palestinian lovers. They just have the narrative of the open air prison, so that forgives everything.
Yeah, it's because either A, it's viewed as like, well, this is how they're going to somehow defend themselves, even though it obviously makes the situation worse every time, which is stupid. And then B, because Israel has a government that actually is a democracy. Since it is a democracy, they have to provide for their citizens. And so they do have to protect their citizens from rocket fire with the Iron Dome, with bomb shelters, and these actual measures where Hamas intentionally doesn't protect the citizens of Gaza and uses them as human shields.
Yeah. Imagine if they could go a year without firing rockets into Israel. I mean, that would change the entire dynamic.
I left Israel with an empathy for the unique security situation that Israel faces.
Did you visit the occupied territories while you were there?
I went into not Gaza, but I went into the Palestinian Ramallah. So.
Yeah, Ramallah.
Yeah.
And what did you see when you were there?
You know, we spoke to Palestinians who obviously have a much more critical view of Israel, and
that didn't resonate as much as. Like what was your takeaway from hearing?
Look,
you're hearing the mayor stay wrote his children have PTSD, and then this guy's like, Israel's screwing with me.
Well, look, I'm in favor of a two-state solution.
Sure.
I feel like.
So it just to notice, he's like, oh, you know, we went to Ramallah, we're talking to Palestinians, have a different view of Israel, and then he interrupts and is like, oh, that didn't resonate with you as much as Israel is. Yeah. Already just immediately interrupts, accuses. And he does it in such a like this is just maybe it's my own male brain. He does it in such a gross, passive aggressive way that it really irks me.
Yeah, it's accusatory all the way.
Like the just outcome lies not in the existence of a Jewish state to the exclusion of a Palestinian state, or the existence of a Palestinian state to the exclusion of a Jewish state. It's the coexistence of both. So I think I want to see the struggle, both the Israeli and the Palestinian struggle for self-determination to be reconciled in the form of a two-state solution.
A big topic nowadays is campus anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
You've spoken out against it. I just want to know what you identify as the examples of this type of anti-Semitism in elite academic institutions.
Yeah, so there were students at a CUNY Halal, where you had a violent, what I thought was an aggressive mob following them to a kosher restaurant in the heart of New York City. And
what were they doing, the mob? What was the mob doing?
Just following them, and then barricaded the restaurant, and
they were like chanting?
hurled insults at the patrons and slamming the windows. You know, much of it is captured in video footage. And, you know, harassing people simply for being pro-Israel Jews, to me, is wrong.
Is there any other examples? Like, there's a restaurant. I mean, it's just like all we're hearing about is campus anti-Semitism, radical. Like, is there a link between Hamas and the protests? Like, is that established?
Well, there are students.
He doesn't know how many of those protesters are pro-Hamas.
I know. Well, no, he does. He doesn't care. First of all, you know, we watched like years ago when this was like going on. I remember we watched these compilations of a lot of the protesters after October 7th, and there'd be people that were pro October 7th out protesting. There'd be lots of people saying go back to Europe to like Jewish people.
Yeah.
And things, yeah, like crazy shit like that. You know, there was the whole thing with people banging on the library. That video like made it out here. So there's lots of incidents, and this is something that's annoying that happens in these internet conversations where someone asks you for an example of something, you give them one example, and then they're going to be like, that's the only example you ever have. And then they'll interrupt or change the topic, but they'll keep throwing that example like in your face
Right.
very dishonestly. And you're like, okay, there's a bunch of other examples. You just, interrupted me. And then he changes the topic to like, after he says, was that the only example? But then before he can even answer that, he says, has there been any link tying Hamas directly to to the protests? Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
As if
so stupid.
As if Hamas is funding them or something.
Right.
They're all Hamas supporters. All these people are. They believe in the open air prison narrative. They believe all that fucking bullshit.
Well, and then the third thing that he said too, which is very important, which is another bullshit lies. He's like, oh, all we're hearing about is campus anti-Semitism. First of all, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I hear nonstop about people that are very against Israel talking about Israel doing a genocide. So I don't know what fucking circles you swim in where all you hear about is anti-Semitism on campus. Okay. That's bullshit. That's actually relatively minor compared to the Israel doing a genocide thing, especially recently. We heard a lot more about the campus anti-Semitism like a year ago. Now, either people aren't reporting on it or it actually calmed down somewhat because we aren't hearing about it as much as we were a year ago. But just nonstop, people talking about Israel doing a genocide.
Public opinion is turning on Israel because obviously it's a war and that's a horrible thing. So, but yeah, you hear ethnic cleansing, you hear genocide, you hear all that all day, every day on a lot of left-wing channels.
Right.
So.
Well, and Adam Friedland he obviously not gonna bring it. Rich Torres doesn't bring this up, unfortunately. And Adam Friedland doesn't care about this. And this is what we talked about a lot in our coverage of the protests like a year or two ago, was, to me, the thing that was so offensive to me was not people being anti-Semitic to Jews on college campuses or even complaining about Israel. To me, the thing that was the most offensive was the disgusting, blatant hypocrisy of the far left in regards to these protests.
Yeah, the free speech.
Yes, for years, we all had to sit around and there would be this continual drumbeat, this continual whining from the far left about how you are not allowed to disagree with any of their like hyper alt-left woke ideologies about race or gender or feminism or anything. And anytime you ever spoke out against that, you would get slammed as a racist, as a sexist, as some sort of ism, and you just were not allowed to disagree with anything. And they would always say, and this is important, they'd always say, if you disagree with me, you're creating an environment of violence and fear. You're making me afraid to be on this college campus. You're scaring me by simply disagreeing me. Or remember when people were saying like, it was okay to be white? Or white lives matter. Yeah. Oh, you're not allowed to say that because that's scaring me. It's making me feel threatened.
All lives matter. Nobody ever said white lives matter.
Yeah, right. You're right.
All lives matter.
Yes.
And that was violence. That's a hostile act.
Yes.
Misgendering is hate speech.
Exactly.
You have to be canceled. You can no longer speak on campus because you're so hateful.
Yes. And we heard this for a decade. And then as soon as like October 7th happens and all these protests come up against Israel and a lot of it's anti-Semitic and some of it's not anti-Semitic.
Gas the Jews on campus. It's like free speech.
Right. Yes. People screaming from the river to the sea, which very obviously, could, and I would argue is supposed to be interpreted as getting rid of Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
All of a sudden, all their fucking arguments about how you have to, be so deferential to minorities. It's so important to be deferential to minorities, not make them feel hostile and not be afraid. All those go out the fucking window.
Yeah. ASAP.
Disappear immediately. And they say, fuck you, eat shit. Eat shit and then fuck off. Right.
You just need to have a tougher skin. You need to learn to be able to take criticism.
Yes. If we hadn't lived through 10 years of this sort of, woke babying safe space bullshit, I'd be like, listen, free speech, college campuses, people should grow with thicker skin. But
Yeah,
that's not what
I'm
happened.
in favor of that. I'm totally in
Yes,
favor of
100%. But guess what? That's not what happened. These people are fucking hypocrites and they're scumbags for pretending, trying to gaslight us into that wasn't their position that they were standing for 10 years and are just being, they have no principles and are just, it's all about power.
that. It is all about power. Unfortunately, that's most people. Most people really can't think clearly about these things. They don't have principles. Their only principle is power for me and none for you.
Yes.
Who have faced harassment and intimidation because of their beliefs. There are students who feel inhibited from expressing their Jewish or Zionist identity because of the atmosphere of intimidation or harassment on college campuses. You should speak to this.
How have they?
Are you denying that there's any campus anti-Semitism? Or?
Well, I'll give you an example. I know a younger person that went to UCLA and was attacked and is Jewish and was with a group of Jewish people at a protest, and they were attacked by the Proud Boys.
Okay, that's an anti-Semitic incident.
No, but the Proud Boys were there for Israel. And those are the guys that did
Proud Boys
Charlottesville.
are there for Israel?
Yeah.
I mean, I think of the Proud Boys as like white nationalists and white supremacists.
I'm telling you right now.
We're anti-Israel, but okay.
Listen, I'm like a comedian, right? Like, I hate when comedians, especially on the internet, like speak from a.
This is another thing too. This is really big in the Lindsay Ellis video that we watched. The whole thing is, oh yes, there's anti-Semitism, but none of it's coming from the left. It's all coming from the right. There is a lot of anti-Semitism coming from the right. Obviously, anyone goes on X will see that. It's pretty pervasive. But the idea that there's none of this shit coming from the left is delusional and dishonest. And in the same interview, you'll see, because he's acting like there's no anti-Semitism from the left, but then he seems to be saying, well, yes, actually, there is anti-Semitism from the left, but it's Israel's fault.
Right.
Position of authority with about crap that they don't know about. You know, this is one topic I feel like I can speak on, and
on college campus anti-Semitism.
No, on anti-Semitism and
in general, because you haven't been in college how long? Probably 2 decades, right?
I'm telling you on my experience of anti-Semitism the last 2 years. But the last 2 years have felt different in America. And I don't know if you've been on Twitter recently. Now a ton of people are questioning the validity of the Holocaust having happened.
Yes.
Can you tell me with a straight face that those are the 18-year-old kids at Columbia that are doing that?
I'm sure all those people too are in favor of those Palestinian babies, those poor Palestinian babies, right? Mm-hmm. The Holocaust deniers. You think they're stepping up for Palestinians?
They really care.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. It's interesting because there was constantly a tension of people on the left going after far right white nationalist types, you know, people who would question the Holocaust and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But now all those people on the far left, well, they hate Israel too now because of all this. So they're not defending Israel in the same way that they once were.
The 18-year-old kids at Columbia?
Are they doing those posts about the Holocaust never having existed? You know who's doing it.
No, we disagree here.
You think that it's the...
So I didn't... You don't put words in my mouth.
It's people on the right. Let me tell you...
You're suggesting that there's... You're suggesting there's no... You're suggesting there's no one on the far left that denies the Holocaust? Or downplays the Holocaust? That's enough.
Now I want to go back here. He was about to say, let me say my lived experiences. Okay. Right. Everyone's like, as a Jew, I get to dictate the conversation based on my lived experiences.
It's people on the right. Let me tell you.
You're suggesting that there's. You're suggesting there's no. You're suggesting there's no one on the far left that denies the Holocaust or downplays the Holocaust. That's an absurd.
What are you? You're doing moot court right now. I'm telling you what it's like to be Jew. My experience being Jewish.
But there are others who have a different.
I'm trying to see. You're. Why is one better than the other? Why is one more important than the other?
And I think here that why this really disgusts me on a visceral level is if Adam Friedland came in the conversation as and asked Ritchie Torres questions in earnest, and he let him sit there and give a full answer, and then he said, okay, I understand what you're saying. This is my thoughts and experiences going forward, right? then I'd say, okay, that's totally fine. But as you saw from the beginning, he keeps trying to frame it like as a gotcha.
Yeah,
As,
totally.
oh, why didn't you feel this way for the Palestinians? Why didn't you do this? Are this really happening? Why are you saying it's happening left? And then whenever Rich Torres tries to like push back on the accusations, Adam Friedland then does this sort of Mott and Bailey or mop and bucket switch to like, well, I'm just trying to explain my lived experiences. These are just my lived experiences as a Jew. Okay, how dare you? How dare you? And it's classic like woke bullshit lived experiences where they would throw out some fucking insanely incendiary claim, and then when you try to challenge them on it, they retreat back to this. It's my lived experiences. How dare you challenge me on this?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm trying to share with you. You're in the government. I don't get a chance to talk.
Of course.
Okay. I think hatred of Jewish people has exploded in this country, and I think it's because it's of our support of what looks to be an absolute brutality.
Look, most of that's on the left. I don't know how you can deny that. There are aspects of the right that do not like Jewish people and do not support Israel, but the normie right broadly does support Israel. Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, and the alt-right is, I mean, those people don't give a fuck, obviously, about white nationalists don't really care about Palestinians dying.
No, of course not.
Yeah, they'll make arguments like, oh, they don't want to fund Israel or any other country, sure. But they're mostly just looking over at the alt-left now, really turning against Israel, and they're rubbing their hands together going like, yes,
yeah, exactly. Yes. Let us join forces.
Right.
And the fact that he can't admit that just makes him a complete idiot. He's a fool. He's a fool.
Well, he will admit it, but only implicitly when he says anti-Semitism is increasing because of Israel, or America's even supportive of Israel.
Yeah, but he's claiming that it's on the right.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the reason why anti-Semitism is off the charts is because so many people on the left have become big fat anti-Semites. Those people are out there fighting the people on the right who would be on Twitter making anti-Semitic comments. But now someone on Twitter makes some anti-Semitic comment. Someone on the far left is like, totally agrees with that person. Like, what is there to fight them about?
Yeah, I think there would be pushback. There is no pushback because they don't support Israel. Some of it's also because a lot of those people, the super woke people, ran away to Blue Sky, which is also now filled with anti-Israel positions. But I don't know if I'd say the anti-Semitism is exploding on the alt-right because of the left, though. I think it's just because the new X policy basically lets, people say whatever the fuck they want with no sorts of restrictions whatsoever. And what you're going to have is like the vocal groyper community is going to, have 1 million bots of 1 million alt accounts. They're going to be spreading their shit everywhere.
ContraPoints was the big Nazi hunter, right? Back in the day. What happened to ContraPoints?
Yeah, they got criticized because they were too soft on Israel, even though they weren't.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, here's what's crazy. I haven't actually watched. I wanted to watch it yet. Brianna Greyjoy, okay,
yes,
our favorite Brianna Greyjoy, the Bad Faith podcast. She did an entire podcast
on this. I saw that.
On this conversation where she's complaining. Her and her guests are complaining that Adam Friedland are centering the conversation on Jewish feelings. So even
God.
Adam Friedland's behavior in this is not good enough for these people.
Right. Hilarious.
And I think that
you think that's a justification for anti-Semitism?
Here's the thing:
you think Israeli government policy is a justification for anti-Semitism? My view is there's no justification for anti-Semitism.
I think that
there's zero justification for anti-Semitism.
Okay, you're deflecting again.
I'm not deflecting. That's my position.
I said Adam Friedland said that anti-Semitism is increased because of Israel, and he says, "I don't think that's a justification." And Adam Friedland's response is, "You're deflecting."
Yeah, that's
how's that a
complete
deflection?
Bullshit. He's arguing implicitly that they should change their policy because it would stop the anti-Semitism. That's his argument.
Right.
What does it look like to have a flag with a Jewish star and I'm Jewish? And for kids to be starving right now? Why is my government... I don't want to do this fight. Let's not do like a yelling at each other thing. I really just... For me,
The reaction of Ritchie Torres there is fucking hilarious.
No,
When
he's
he's
not.
like,
I mean,
we're
Ritchie's
yelling at each other, and he's like, I'm not yelling.
Ritchie's very chill the whole conversation.
He's like,
Yeah.
you look like you're about to stab me.
Let's not yell at each other, okay?
I know. It's hilarious. That's like his reaction there is like a perfect meme.
Yeah.
Like, what the
That's so
fuck? dude?
And for kids to be starving right now.
If-
And why
if-
is my
if-
government? I don't want to do this fight. Let's not do like a yelling at each other thing. I really.
That's like, he totally does a double take there.
Yeah.
What?
Well, and also it's bizarre to hear, not bizarre, but it's very telling to hear Adam Friedland say this, because we've been hearing for this whole time, oh, the people on the left, they're not anti-Semitic, they're just anti-Israel,
Mhm.
right? It's sort of the talking point we've been hearing. And now Adam Friedland's saying like, oh no, like people are becoming anti-Semitic because of Israel.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know if people's opinions are changing or they're just feeling more emboldened to voice their opinions.
It's
not
both.
sure.
It's both those things. It's both those things. But I think a lot of people's opinions are just are changing. It's very
Mhm.
difficult, unfortunately, part of human nature and the difficulty of fighting against the sort of NPC mindset is it's very difficult to be like, oh, I'm against a country doing something. And if there's an ethnicity or religious group associated with that country, to not just have your mind want to automatically associate that with that ethnicity or that religious group.
Right. Yeah. No, that's the easy way.
Just for me, I had the experience of.
It just sounds like you're justifying anti-Semitism, which making me feel like.
Are you crazy right now?
Okay.
Why would I do that? You're doing the I'm Hamas thing.
I'm not saying
It's
you're
not a
Hamas,
winner.
but I'm not. I think there should be.
We'll do a different tack.
Israeli government policy should have
I
no
think we're-
bearing on. If you have disagreements with the Israeli government, you should voice your criticism of the Israeli government. But there is no justification for intimidation or harassment against American Jews.
I'm telling you as a Jew right now that we are receiving a lot more hate because of what the people with a flag that has a Jewish star on are doing to other people right now.
That might
and
be
I'm telling you, as a Jewish person, how painful it is for us to say, and it hurts my stomach to say this. So you're going to say, I disagree, that this is a genocide. And that hurts to say that a Jew could do that.
You like how, so Ritchie Torres lays out a very clear, understandable principle. Regardless of what Israel is doing, you can voice your disagreement as hard as you want against Israel. That should not mean that you are, hate Jews in America. Okay, for the quality of being Jewish. Just as if, there's all these civil wars and conflicts going on in Africa, you shouldn't be like, oh, well, I disagree, with some conflict in Africa, so therefore I'm going to start like projecting that hatred onto black people in America. Right?
Yeah, obviously.
Something that, obviously would, very easily connect. And here, instead of Friedland actually engaging with that, he's just like, my feelings. It just hurts my feelings that I have to say Israel's doing a genocide. So who's deflecting now? Who's changing the fucking subject now?
He's trying to get the policy changed. He wants Israel to just pack it up. That's what he wants.
Then just say that.
And he's like, he's doing the, oh, I'm such a victim. Look, you're making the anti-Semitism so bad for me. Can't you just bend over and fucking take it? Can't you just bend over for Hamas? Can't you get on your knees and suck Hamas's dick so I'll stop getting anti-Semitism? Do it for me.
Friedland, just man the fuck up, okay? And say what your position is. Say you want Israel to give up because you think that will or to stop the war, because you think that will lower anti-Semitism in America, because you are afraid that a bunch of people on the left and the right are just becoming anti-Semitic because of Israel, because they're stupid.
Yes.
And you accept that it's stupid, but that it's going to happen, and you want Israel to just give up for that. Just like say what you're fucking, just be straight.
Tell me more Jewish people should volunteer as hostages so that
there you go.
Hamas can be satiated and you'll stop getting all this anti-Semitism from the far left. That's what you should say. That's basically your position. So maybe you could volunteer to be a hostage.
It hurts because we grew up with learning about what hatred is. We grew up learning about this. And the same year the state of Israel was established in 1948, the world saw the Holocaust, and they established standards for what a genocide is. It was the same year. And the world said that this shouldn't be a thing that happens. You know? And I just wonder, like, it doesn't make sense to me, I don't know, it doesn't track to me why there's this fixation with kids at a school and two examples of people at a restaurant that there was banging.
Two exampple. I mean, there are surveys on it.
Give me
read the EDL surveys on it. Because
it's hard for me to talk about this in public
clearly,
because
I mean, you're
crying like a
mean.
bitch.
No.
Clearly, you're crying like a little bitch.
He's like, oh, why are we talking? First of all, why are we talking about this other thing? You can talk about more than one thing at a time. Okay. Obviously. It's so stupid. How fucking stupid would it be if, some pro-Israeli person like murdered some Palestinian supporter on a college campus, and then for people like, oh, well, we're not allowed to talk. We can't talk about that because there's still like hostages in Israel. How dare you talk about this person that got murdered? Like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, you can talk about domestic. This is the whole argument they even present when people say, well, why are you even talking about? There's all these global conflicts going on all around the world. Why are you talking about this one? It's like, oh, well, because America's giving money to Israel. Well, why are you talking about what's going on college campuses? Because it's happening in a fucking America. That's
course.
why. To American
it's relevant.
Citizens. Yes, it's relevant conversation. Holy shit. And then in response to that, he's like, it's so difficult to talk about this. Fuck you. Like, just engage in the conversation. Stop being a passive-aggressive little whiny bitch.
Well, he's saying it's difficult to talk about because obviously Israel's being so mean.
It's insane.
Surveys on it.
Give me
read the EDL surveys on it. Because
it's hard for me to talk about this in public
clearly,
because
I mean,
you're being a dick. That's mean.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm just clear it's an emotional topic.
All right.
Oh, and he snaps out of it immediately. Look, the tears completely dry up. You're being mean.
I know. Ritchie Torres should double down on it. I mean, he's a politician. Like,
he should
double down. Like,
totally double down on it.
Right.
He should be like, well, look, I mean, you're obviously on the verge of tears here.
Right. This is even like, and I don't. It's hard to articulate. Friedland here is the most soy person I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
Ever in my life.
That's why the left loves him.
Right. I guess you could but you could have someone who is talking about how horrible it is that there's all these Palestinian civilians and children dying, and they could be like literally brought to tears about it. And I feel like that would be less soy, like 100 times less soy than what Friedland is doing in this conversation.
It's funny how the left always bitches about toxic masculinity, but this guy is the avatar for toxic femininity. He totally is. Everything in this conversation is just completely bad faith from a feminine perspective.
Yes.
I'll share with you what happened. I lived there for...
Look, now he's going to give the sob story. Let me tell you what happened to me.
Yes.
Sir, I lived there when I was 18, and I grew up a Zionist. And we were told, and our whole community in this country is told, that we have to defend Israel and love Israel because it will stop the Holocaust. It will stop another Holocaust from happening. And my dad was born in 1951. That was 6 years after these atrocities. His friends' parents, he knew these people that had been through this hell, these skeletons.
That 90% of the Palestinian people want to see a Holocaust of the Jewish people. It's insane that he's coming at it from this perspective.
And it terrified us. And the understanding in our community is that we have to defend Israel. But I lived there, and I went to a settlement at the end of my year there, and I looked down a hill at a Palestinian village, and I saw how they lived, and I turned back and I looked at the settlement and saw how they lived. And people live in a world where they're demeaned and dehumanized and surveilled constantly by people and this isn't in Gaza, by people in SWAT team outfits with with semi-automatic weapons, and that's what the world is seeing. And you keep telling me that the problem is someone's getting yelled at a restaurant? I'm sorry.
You're conflating two different issues. So I don't
Please,
understand.
please. Me saying this to you right now will hurt people in my own family, okay? Because this is a very important thing to us. And the fact that I still fucking care about being Jewish is embarrassing. I should just be a guy. But this feels like a stain on our history. And it feels like it's changed what being Jewish is. Because what being Jewish is isn't Israel. Judaism has existed for 4,000 years. This is a country for 75 years. You know, like, it is the oldest, one of the oldest monotheistic religions. Anti-Semitism is one of the oldest forms of hatred. People in my life are going to be mad at me about this, but I'm saying this because I am Jewish.
I mean, if he wants to turn the other cheek, he should just convert to Christianity. Okay.
Wow.
The Old Testament was an eye for an eye, but look, he sounds like a Jesus lover to me.
There you go. Oh, I do like the continual cutting back to Ritchie Torres looking utterly confused.
Yeah, baffled. Why am I here? What's going on? I thought I was getting interviewed. You've just talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You're
and
giving
the
me your
emotional
life story, dude.
The emotional blackmail is like
women would never use emotional blackmail. Come on,
like, you need to shut up and listen to what I'm saying because my family is going to be mad about my position on this issue. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what your family thinks about that issue. But this has nothing to do with the conversation.
I know exactly. Emotional blackmail. Ugh, so gross.
You know, and I don't understand why you would be.
Look how you define.
I want to.
I feel like I'm here to be lectured, not.
Shut up. That's not nice. You can't talk that way.
It's true. You are lecturing him.
He's 100% correct. You're lecturing me, and then Anfield was like, "Shut up," and then after he says, first of all, say "shut up" to a guest is pretty crazy. It is, especially like a fucking politician. But then on top of that, he's like, "That's not nice." You just told him to shut up. You're like, that's not nice. Oh my god.
Why are one set of Jews but more important than others?
No one's saying any.
What happened? You went to the beach in Israel? What, you went to a restaurant or something?
Yeah.
A nice restaurant?
No.
Like, listen.
Never.
Oh my god, the idea that you went to a nice restaurant and that's why you support Israel. This guy's so bad faith.
I went.
It's insane.
To a nice restaurant in Israel, and I was like, this food is very good. Okay, getting a 5-star on Yelp. I went to a restaurant in Gaza. Service was very poor.
Sucked.
Okay, service was very poor. They couldn't, I didn't like the food. Right now, they were blaming Israel for, embargoing sugar, but I don't believe them. I only gave it a 3-star review on Yelp, so I support Israel in this conflict now.
Right.
Never even been to the Tel Aviv Pride Parade. So
this is the year 2025.
Yeah.
The world is seeing something that looks terrible, and it's being done in my name, and I don't know what to do.
But the war began on October 7th.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
You're
when Hamas systematically murdered and made. You want.
Okay.
Look, we're going down a rabbit hole. We fundamentally disagree.
No.
But Hamas murdered and maimed.
No, you're doing the
and
TV
mutilated
thing. Don't do
and
TV.
abducted and tortured thousands of people. That's not television. That's a fact. That's reality. You can deny it. You can
I'm not
downplay
denying
it.
October 7th.
Well, you seem to be
You're doing the
trivializing
I'm pro October 7th. You're doing I'm pro Hamas.
I never said you were pro Hamas. You're putting words in my mouth.
He is pro Hamas, though. Don't let him get away with it. He's totally 100% fucking simping for Hamas right now. And I'm glad that you're pointing it out. I'm glad that you're setting him straight. Ritchie Torres, fan. I'm a huge fan now.
There you go.
It is.
But you seem to be downplaying it.
There, for the last 17 years, people have been under a blockade where they cannot.
You're rationalizing it. Oh my God, you're making fucking excuses for it. You are totally making excuses for it. You're like, this is the reason why it's justified.
Oh, yeah, he's going to spout out very directly. Which
What
is
a
most of the times
fucking-
these people try to just hide that, but no. He's
What
gonna
a
do it.
fucking loser. What a fucking loser.
Not leave. If you were born in a place and there's a fence there and there's a guy...
Dude, all of this is such gaslighting. Such
I know.
fucking gaslighting. Such American gaslighting perspective.
with a gun on the other side and he says you can't go anywhere, would you like that guy? If you treat people like animals, sometimes they're going to lash out.
Look, I sincerely believe, maybe I'm wrong, that if Palestinians were governed not by a terrorist organization like Hamas in Gaza, but by a regime that was able and willing to make peace with Israel, the situation would be fundamentally different.
True. 100% true. Yes, the Palestinian people are being preyed upon by Hamas. And you making excuses for it is just fucking wrong, Adam.
Yep.
The preconditions for this happening are undeniably something that the Israeli government was fully aware of. Why would Bibi Netanyahu... Okay, here's the question.
Do you think October 7th...
He goes into the money thing too. What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser.
was justified?
No.
Okay, I'm happy you said that.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
He's
right now?
lying.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Why would the Israeli government... Hamas wants to eradicate the Jewish people and the Jewish state? Is that right?
That's what Hamas has said, yeah.
Okay. Then why would they directly give Hamas money, literally bags of cash in suitcases through the Qataris, nearly, I think over $1 billion in cash during this last 17 years?
That's a fair point. It's a great question.
If one of those kids at Columbia wrote a $5 check to Hamas, you'd say send them to Gitmo for being a terrorist.
But wait, what? First of all, I would, they obviously, the Israeli government was completely fucking retarded. They thought they could buy some amount of peace with Hamas, which did not work very obviously.
Yeah.
But then, like, what is the argument here? Is he saying that Hamas isn't a threat? Because obviously they are, or is he saying that Israel didn't think they were a threat? Which, okay, they obviously didn't think they were the threat that they were, but that wouldn't help Friedland's argument.
Or is he saying they're paying them to invade? What the fuck?
Oh, I don't know. It's not very clear about it.
It seems that they were paying them thinking that they could buy peace, which obviously didn't work out. But if it had worked out, everybody would say, oh, thank goodness they paid them instead of killing all of these innocent Palestinian children, right? They'd be 100% in favor of it if it actually worked.
Yeah. Well, and also they're being contradictory because the people that complain about this are the same people that complain that Israel is keeping resources out of Gaza.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, well then shouldn't you be happy that they gave the government of Gaza they allowed other people to pay the government of Gaza a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Which I believe there also was international laws and pressures where they felt compelled to do so to some capacity too.
If maybe they're paying them for good governance, attempting to get good governance out of them, right? It's foreign aid.
It's a fair point.
Does that make Benjamin Netanyahu a terrorist? He's supporting terror.
The United States, it seems to me, the United States and Israel could have shut off the spigot. And
look, if he was still giving money to them now after October 7th, sure, he's a terrorist. He's supporting terrorists, right?
Right.
I think the script has flipped as soon as they invade. October 7th is what changed everything.
Did not do so. I don't know why, but that was a failure. There's no question.
I think that what I see is the reason why our government provides $25 billion to something that looks this horrific to people. I think is the same reason. I think it makes it look like the Jews control the government, but really what it is the more boring answer. It's the reason why the government and you guys don't get shit done. It's the reason why Sandy Hook could happen. You guys can't do gun reform. It's because
why can't we do gun reform?
Because special interest groups can buy influence in our government.
Well, which political party's against gun reform?
The NRA has a power.
It's the Republican Party.
We allow our government to be flooded with cash and money, and what's scary to me is that it looks that people are starting to question the Holocaust ever happening. How could Jews, maybe they invented the Holocaust?
You're blaming You're blaming Israel for Holocaust denial?
I'm blaming our government for supporting a genocide. But it is unfathomable in my heart, and it breaks my heart that
Ritchie Torres totally nailed it.
Yeah.
He totally explained his argument, but he's like, "Is that my argument? What is my fucking argument here?"
we could be capable of
I
it.
think we should move on.
Why is that?
Yeah, good.
We just fundamentally disagree. So
I don't think that. I think I'm talking to you like about where I come from, and that it feels different, and maybe I have a different perspective.
you have a different perspective.
But
I know people who have a perspective that's different from yours, and
yeah,
with a much smaller platform than you.
I'm not. I hate this conversation.
I know.
You know, I have it with my family. You know, it's not something.
Yeah, his family hates his fucking guts. I guarantee you.
Just like imagine creating this bizarre, weird, uncomfortable interaction, and then you're like, "Oh, I hate this conversation." Well, then maybe you should self-reflect on that one, Friedland. Maybe you should say, why are you engaging with this in such a cringy, soy way?"
Oh, but the whole internet is slapping this guy's back, just telling him, "Oh my God, you did the best thing ever. Oh, you totally spoke truth to power. You're the man." Oh, they're blowing him up over this.
It's a combination of people who just fucking hate Israel, so they don't care. You could have a literal dog turd with a Palestinian flag in it against the most eloquent, defender of Israel, and they're going to say, "Oh, the dog turd won."
Yeah, of course.
Right. But then also it's interesting because it's kind of goes back in the whole masculine versus feminine thing. Because a lot of people, especially on the sort of alt-left community on the internet, are, very feminine. They're either women or they're very feminized, or they've been brainwashed to be feminized in sort of how they argue and interact with people. And so maybe they just they don't really perceive this from this angle. Because I think most people that feel even remotely masculine would be cringing out of their fucking mind to interact with someone like Friedland.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly the far left who are they're upset. They're driven by the Care Harm Foundation, so they care about the innocent victims in the Palestinian side. So
right, but they're driven by Care Harm, but then it's like through the lens of, okay, whoever they view is not in the dominant power position,
right, yeah,
is who you should care for, because they must be the innocent baby angel Aladdins.
His looking up the hill and looking down the hill analogy perfectly summarizes that.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, look, they're down there living that way." I fundamentally think crime causes poverty. So they're living that way because they don't have good institutions that fight the security threat. If they did, like in Gaza, the government is literally the bad guys. They're the criminals.
Yes.
They're the criminal syndicate. So until you get past that, and the whole idea of a two-state solution, get the fuck out of here. Most states are autocracies. Gaza is an autocracy.
Right.
Small group of guys with all the guns controlling everything. And I'm sure, they probably tax the businesses at gunpoint. It's got to be a horrible fucking place.
That's what the situation is so horrific, is that you have a authoritarian, massively evil, corrupt government that is subjugating its people and will continually engage in mass violence against a neighboring country. And it's like, okay, how does a neighboring country deal with that, especially when that authoritarian government is using its own civilians and citizens as human shields? And it puts you in this like really horrific situation.
It does, yeah. But we're going to go old style here. We're going to go full colonialism. They're going to go in. A colony of Jewish people are going to go in. They're going to establish the democratic institutions. And maybe in a decade, they'll turn them over to the Palestinians. I guess we'll see how it goes.
I think they're just going to take over the area.
You think they're just going to claim it? In 10 years, we're going to say, oh, yeah, that's part of Israel.
Yeah.
Gaza is going to be a state in Israel?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That could be the direction. That could be the direction. And then I mean, a lot of people are going to be crying about that, but obviously,
Of course, but
there's going to
there-
be peace.
I mean, and I think I
No
said
more
this
rocket fire.
I think I said this very shortly after October 7th. I said, after that attack, the Israeli government will never, ever allow that region to be independently governed ever again after that attack.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They do need democratic institutions. They do need a state that's accountable to the population. I don't, obviously Israel is not going to let those people vote, but
No,
they might
I don't know what's going to happen with those people.
They
They're gonna
might
be
have
pushed
some
out to some other
way
place or
to,
what?
well, yeah, they might relocate them, which is definitely ethnic cleansing, right? If they're
Yes.
moving them against their will
Yes.
to another place. They might make them Israeli citizens over time. They might integrate them the same way
Mm-hmm.
blacks were integrated in America. But I mean, that's
Right.
that's like a 100-year
long
project,
process.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There
we'll
was,
be in robot bodies before.
yeah, we won't. But I mean, regarding like, how Hamas rules the area too, there were videos and even reporters that were saying how once the aid distribution fell on America and Israel, there were all these Palestinians who were getting aid who were confused that they didn't have to pay for it all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
So
Because we were giving the aid to Hamas, and Hamas was making them pay for the
making
aid.
them buy it, yeah, right. Well, they all took the majority of the aid and gave it to their own fighters and hid it away in tunnels and shit.
Yeah, they're trying to buy plane tickets to Qatar.
Right.
Fuckers.
And I love my family.
If it were up to me, we would not be having this because we're speaking a foreign language.
My family grew up in South Africa, right? We were like Jews from Eastern Europe that literally we thought we were going to Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma, all the
Thought they were going to Ellis Island, and they ended up in South Africa.
How's that happen?
What happened there? Sitch?
I couldn't tell you.
grannies stayed. And my parents' whole generation of South African Jews left. And when I was a kid, like growing up, I used to write all my who's my hero essays on Nelson Mandela. And he was like a hero of mine, right? And he was also, in prison and for terrorism too. I don't want to get it. You're gonna go Hamas is what I don't want. I'm not debating Hamas is good. He was called that, and he went to my synagogue after he got out of prison, Madiba, and he spoke to like all the grandmas who like were still there. They didn't have to fucking move because black people could vote.
Comparing Hamas to Nelson Mandela. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting
it's not
tact.
great. Right. Now, I know there were terrorist attacks, but it wasn't, I don't think it was on the Scoper scale. So.
Interesting tact. Interesting
Yeah.
argument style here, right, Sitch?
Well, then also, I mean, so what is the argument? Because at the end of the day, that faction, that ideology won and became the government, right?
Yeah.
So what are you trying to make a comparison that Hamas should control Israel or something? Like, it's a weird comparison on a lot of levels.
Next stop, Martin Luther King Jr., right? He
Right.
was just dealing with a struggle,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And he said, tell your kids to come back because we need them to build our country. I don't know. I think that I don't see what's wrong with people being afforded the right to vote.
Do you think that's what Hamas means when it says free Palestine from the river to the sea?
To me, it seems like maybe if there's a recognition that people were cleared off their land in 1948.
But there are those who only want a Jewish state, and there are those who only want a Palestinian state.
Then they could fuck off.
And we should be advocating for the coexistence of Jewish state and a Palestinian state.
Why can't
I continue to believe the two-state solution ultimately is the inevitable path forward. That is fine.
It's stupid.
There were 1,000 Jews who were murdered before the establishment of Israel, like a half a century before the establishment of Israel.
Half is
1,000 Jews.
they were killing each other, Jews and Palestinians.
The
Yeah,
Hebron massacre.
it doesn't make sense to me. This in 2025.
The only point was there was violence against Jews before the establishment of the state of Israel.
There's violence.
That's a good point. That's a great point, because obviously everyone always says, oh, it was just when Israel was established. That's when everyone started hating the Jewish people. So, I mean, it was established after the Holocaust, which is pretty good evidence. People hated Jewish people before the establishment of Israel, but
yeah, well, there was a lot.
Yeah,
there were a lot of Jews who were moving to what was Palestine under British mandate in the 1900s, 1910s, 1920s to escape anti-Semitism in Europe.
right.
And as there were a bunch of people immigrating, a lot of the Arabs living there, because they didn't identify as Palestinians at the time, they were very anti-immigration.
I know, it's so
they were not
bizarre,
very
isn't
happy
it?
about
It's so
this, yes.
bizarre, isn't it? If that was a situation and people were immigrating here, the far left would be open arms, no borders. Borders are racist, right? But the
If they're
same
not
thing
white, yeah.
happens in. It's like, okay, I guess you're right. I guess it's just anti-white racism. That's what it is. Because if they were immigrating here and they're white, then all of a sudden it's like, no, fucking close the border. Ugh, white people. Ugh.
Violence against Palestinians. And there was an ethnic cleansing in 1948.
I mean, the Hebron massacre.
What are you talking about right now? You're in the government? Listen, I didn't want to argue.
Wait, I'm sorry, you're not familiar with the Hebron massacre in 1929?
Wait, you're saying that justifies an entire ethnic cleansing in 1948?
Israel was a...
Whoa, this isn't even a good argument.
Hold on. Israel...
What are you talking about?
I didn't realize we were debating.
I don't want to do it, but you say something like that.
The Jewish state was established by international law, right? The UN passed a resolution that recognized the establishment of a Jewish state, and there were a number of Arab countries, including Egypt, that declared war on Israel.
Yes.
It was the War of Independence.
The Palestinians
and Israel won the war.
The Palestinians didn't declare war on them. They were just people that were living there, and they were kicked off their land.
By the way,
there were.
I mean, first of all, there were no Palestinians in 1948. People didn't really identify as that, and a lot of people living in the area that were Arab did join the other Arab forces to fight and try to expel the Jews and the new Israelis and try to wipe them out so that they couldn't have a country under the UN partition plan. So yes, that is what happened.
Yeah,
and they lost.
Of course.
And Israel
did.
won.
Yeah.
And they won, and no one has ever been able to basically get over the fact that they won, in 1945 or 1948.
These are the people who are doing land acknowledgments before they can speak about anything. So look, they're never going to get over it.
Well, it'd be interesting for these people to kind of how would these people address the idea if there was some group of like radical Native Americans or American Indians who had some ideology that was the same or very similar to Hamas, that were engaged in massive terrorist attacks
on American
on
cities.
American cities.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I mean, would that be justified? Because you say, well, America stole their land in the past. It's like, okay, at what point do you say, listen, people have been wronged all throughout history. At some point, you have to say that my pride or my ego, or even, my pain of what was lost 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. At some point, you have to say the future for my children is more important than what I lost. And until you can say that, until you can say the future for your children is more important than the things you lost in the past, then you will never, ever, ever be able to come to any sort of working peace with your country, with your neighbors, with the people you have conflict with.
Yeah, it's so ironic. These are the progressives. Progress. Moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, because the whole thing with the solution is it's so rooted forever looking back.
It is, yeah.
Forever counting.
Trapped in the past.
Yes, counting every transgression against, yourself, your family, your people. You be the Hatfield and McCoys forever, as opposed to saying, okay, we need to actually move forward. We actually have to care about the future now. Yes, we got fucked, or we think we got fucked, but at some point you need to actually make things work.
Mm-hmm.
Not just collect grievances for your entire life until you commit atrocities that end up getting your family wiped out.
Either at
800,000
gunpoint or
Jews that
killed.
were ethnically cleansed
Do you
from the
know
Arab
what-
world.
do you know what-
there were Jews? You know how many Jews there are
Not
in the
by
Arab
the
world? Almost none.
Palestinians.
I'm not talking about the I'm talking about the broader Arab
So
world.
why do the Palestinians have to bear the responsibility of the Algerians kicking the Jews out?
You can relitigate.
Why do the Palestinians bear the responsibility
Israel's-
of Egypt invading in
Israel's been a
1948?
state for 77 years.
Bro, it's so
And
depressing
so
what you're saying right now.
you're proposing to undo an established state?
No.
So to be clear, because Friedland, I guess, forgot or is dishonest about what the track of the conversation was. The whole reason that Ritchie Torres even brought any of this up was why he was advocating specifically for a two-state solution versus a one-state solution. So he's saying he thinks that they need a two-state solution because the Jews, including the Arab world, have always been subject to discrimination and harm and all these other things. So that's why he thinks it's just necessary, because he's saying it's seen, look, even before Israel, they've always had all these problems. Friedland's completely moved off that and now is just trying to dishonestly push it to like, oh, you're saying, doing the Kathy Newman, you're saying because the Jews faced, harms in other Arab countries, therefore it justifies them killing a bunch of Palestinians, which is not what he said or advocated for.
No, of course not.
I know people that live there. I have family that live there. I don't think that they should
What are
leave.
you proposing?
I'm proposing a democracy. I'm proposing an extensive demographic study of what was taken and what was lost, extensive reparations for what that was taken, and a truth and reconciliation process where we can end this shit. What we're seeing right now is that members of the Israeli government are talking about clearing that shit out. And Trump, our president, is talking about putting a fucking jet ski museum there. And
The problem is, if tomorrow the Israeli government said, listen, we're going to do everything that we listened to Adam Friedland's podcast,
Yes.
where he was whining, and we decided
the
that his
ridiculous solution
Yes.
he came up with.
Yes.
After we got done laughing our asses off.
right.
We
No.
decided we're
this
going
is-
to implement it.
Yeah, no, this is a magical scenario, okay, where the whining fever
Actually
of Adam
worked.
Friedland actually works and convinces the Israeli government. And so, like, okay, we're going to do some sort of we're immediately make peace.
Yes.
We're going to do a massive study where we're going to figure
Bring out
how
the
much.
accountants.
Yeah, we're going to figure out how much each Palestinian should be owed because if they've lost land in the past or anyone they know have died or whatever, and we're going to allow all these people to move into any part
Back
of Israel
into Israel, sure. Yeah,
that they
come on in.
desire, right? Or even give them places if they lost places, blah, 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 all those other things, right? Okay. The idea that even if Israel did all that, that there wouldn't still be massive violence, massive terrorist attacks means that you're just so naive and have no fucking clue what's going on there.
Yeah, you're
If
fucking
you think that would
delusional.
actually work
Yes.
and bring magical peace and all these people would live in magical harmony under Western liberal democracy, you're out of your fucking mind.
No, you'd bring in a bunch of people who hate Jewish people and think they all got to go.
Yes.
And you just
But
start
they're all gonna
sleeping
live
next
together.
to them. Yeah.
They're all going to live together in magic harmony, right?
Yeah.
Just
It'd
like,
be like the
and those are the
Jim
same
Crow-
people.
Be the Jim Crow South all over again.
Yes. These are the same people who will rightfully so point out how ridiculous it was that the Bush administration thought they could just magically bring liberal democracy to Afghanistan and Iraq. But for some reason, they're like, oh, well, obviously when it comes to from the Palestinians, like that's completely different scenario. They have a very good track record of living in Western liberal democracies.
Yeah.
reality
that
right
is
now.
the far right, yes.
It's
That's
the
a
far
view that I
right.
reject. So
What the far right? I'm talking about the government and the generals that are in charge of Israel.
the Ben-Gavirs, the Smoltridges of the world, that's a view
They're
that I
the
reject.
cabinet.
Yes, and I reject them.
That's what Hamas is saying they want to do to Israel.
I'm sorry?
I mean,
Hamas murdered thousands of people, so there's no...
So what does that mean?
that Hamas is a terrorist organization for murdering innocent children and civilians.
How many civilians have been killed in this war?
The war is a tragedy, but
90% of them have been.
But
90% of them have been
suggesting that
civilians. They've
He doesn't understand the difference between collateral damage and a fucking target.
Right.
He just doesn't get it.
Suggesting
they've killed journalists.
people,
They've killed journalists.
people have been killed in a war. It's been a tragedy.
They've killed people waiting for aid.
But you're suggesting that it is the policy of the Israeli government to murder civilians, and that is a notion
Not
that
the
I reject.
case.
You
Yes.
gotta listen, man. You gotta be like a human being about this.
People who are
Oh,
dying
you
in
just
the
called
war,
them
which to
inhuman.
me is a tragedy, because war is a
Do
tragedy.
you feel in your heart that this is what you're saying is right?
If you remove Hamas,
You don't actually think
well,
that.
I told you what I believe. Don't tell me what I believe. I've told you what I believe.
Why would you believe that?
Because there are people who see the world differently. I know it's a shock to you, but there are
No.
people who see the world differently.
But why?
I know that's a shock to you.
It seems a little bit like
The humanitarian crisis has deteriorated rapidly.
I don't want to be disrespectful like this.
Well,
But
you've been at various points.
in what capacity?
You've just been hostile. So. But
In
anyway,
what capacity?
It's fine. Don't worry. It's just been a gotcha interview.
Oh, I love that he calls him out. I
know.
love that he calls him out on it.
And he doesn't even understand. What? What are you talking about? What?
Hostile. What a fucking. I hate this guy.
I think that my conscience is clear, especially as
No one gives a fuck about your conscience.
I
Okay? None of us give a fuck about how you feel. Okay? We really don't. What the fuck?
I know.
someone that's lived there and seen it and loved people that live there, and this sucks. I really didn't want to do this, and I think that you saw it as gotcha.
Bullshit.
This is what people are
chose
talking
to
about
spend-
right
no,
now.
I get. Well, not in the South Bronx. People are
Yeah.
not talking about Israel. People are talking about
This sucks,
how to put
dude.
food on the table
This
and
all
pay the
people
bills.
yeah.
Maybe in your world, that's what people are talking
No,
about. But in
I
my
don't.
world,
So fucking true. So
Yes.
true. Luxury beliefs. Yes, in your world where all of your material needs are met and exceeded, you have all kinds of time to worry about the starving children across the world. But look, in the Bronx, they're worried about jobs, American jobs.
Yes. I mean, this is so 100% correct.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and we didn't watch it, but like the first half of this interview, beyond him talking about his background, it is talking about issues. You know, this is a guy who's in the House of Representatives. Okay, he represents a district.
Yes.
And he's talking about
Yeah.
the issues that affect his constituents and the people that he represents. And it was Adam, and a lot of that stuff Friedland would agree with. A lot of those issues Friedland would or should agree with. But there's no fucking way, and this is why Friedland's being hyper dishonest, and Ritchie Torres is 100% correct. If Friedland just had Ritchie Torres on and they talked about his district that he, has oversight over and trying to help his district, and even if they just sprinkled in, some 5-minute disagreement about Israel at the end, everyone on the left, on the internet left, would be shitting all over Friedland. Like, how dare you have Ritchie Torres on and you not attack him for the fact that he's, pro-Israel.
Yeah.
That's why
all
he's
they
doing
care
this.
about. This is the only fucking issue they care about.
But that's why Friedland's doing this. He's doing it because he has to protect his own reputation.
Yeah. So much of the Democratic Party is just about what the cause du jour is. So much of the
Mhm.
Democratic establishment gets caught up in that. That's all they care about.
Well, I mean, I think everyone gets caught up in, I don't think it's just Democrats. I think Republicans, I think that's just politics now is
Mhm.
maybe it always was, but now it definitely seems like there'll be an issue for a day, a month, a year, or even a year, which will just kind of dominate, even if it doesn't seem like hyper relevant to whatever the conditions are that people should be reacting to, becomes the issue that everyone becomes obsessed with.
Mm-hmm. I guess there are causes on the right. If you think abortion is obviously a cause that's been going on forever, gun rights is kind of a cause. So maybe so.
people are struggling. So
Yeah. Then why, if people are struggling in your world, are you paying $25 billion?
we have a $7 trillion budget in the federal government.
Yeah.
Right,
So it's not that much money?
Less than 1%
So a
goes
little
to
money went to Israel.
In the grand scheme of the federal budget, yes, it's minuscule.
I'm sorry, dude. You're bummed. Your consultants told you not to do it.
And they were
I
right.
like this guy a lot too. I hate this. This is so embarrassing.
I don't have anything to hide. I'm willing to go anywhere.
No, man. I'm sorry. I appreciate your time. Listen,
Sure.
having this opportunity is for me is a big deal. I don't get to talk to someone in the government that's taking part in these big decisions like this, and
Well, only one of 535. So
well, I'll talk to another one. Which one would like me? Virginia Fox?
I don't know.
Do you have her number?
Name a Republican, because you just beat up on Ritchie Torres. They probably love to come
So
on.
funny. Well, it's just like, and not this is like, God, he's so gross, so slimy. The whole like, he tore conversation. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I hate this conversation. I hate the way this. It's like, well, then why did you fucking do it? What do you mean?
Well, he
You
did
don't-
it because the audience put him up to it.
Well, he has to, otherwise,
Yeah.
this salvage his own career. Yeah, but don't say
Yeah.
you hate it, unless you're gonna actually be like, oh, listen, I'm sorry, I
He
think
probably
I fucked up.
Maybe he
Yeah, don't
does
say you
hate
hate
it.
it.
Maybe he's like, oh my God, my audience.
It's terrible. He
I
just,
don't know.
God, I can't stand him. I can't stand this guy so much. I fucking hate this guy so much. Everything about him irks
I
me.
don't have her number. No.
All right.
Oh, here, let me. Oh, is there?
No, we
something at the
gotta
very
we
end
gotta
you wanted
watch
to-
the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I mean, it does kind of. This is super fucking awkward that it goes on for so long. Here we go.
And you have that view, but others have a different view.
Why are we still having this interview? This is exhausting. I'm sweating.
We could.
And then look, his like
It's like a child.
little kid acting in the chair.
I know.
What a fucking dork.
End the interview.
AC's off. I'm just trying to find a button to shake your hand, dude. I don't want to fucking do this. We could have talked about so much other shit.
No, I think you have an agenda to speak about this.
Okay.
AC's off. I'm just trying to find a button to shake your hand, dude. I don't want to fucking do this. We could have talked about so much other shit.
No, I think.
No, I think you had an agenda to speak about this.
True.
Yeah.
You have an agenda to speak about this. I really do.
Why are they even?
He
playing
says I
this,
didn't
too?
have an agenda.
This is really gross too.
It is gross because this totally comes off as off the record, right?
Yeah, that'd
This
be
is
like
like
if we ended the stream and then we were still recording and we're
Yeah.
like talking behind the scenes with the guests and we're like, well, we're gonna put this up because it makes the guests look bad.
Of course, yeah.
I really did.
It's your number one topic.
Your number one topic.
It's not my number.
It's not my number one topic. Ritchie Torres' response.
It's just not.
It is
It's not my number one topic.
He protests that it's not his number one topic.
It's not my number
saw.
Well, then I'm happy. I was not elected on Israel. You don't get elected in the South Bronx and the
I'm
Northeast
not
Bronx.
trying to make you feel bad or like.
No, but I just don't think you know what you're talking about.
I just don't think you know what you're talking about. Yeah. Which is true. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yep.
That's hilarious. I want all of your constituents to just focus on Israel 100% because I'm experiencing a lot of anti-Semitism in my life. Okay, so that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts?
No way. We had to go back and watch his ad reads.
Oh, okay.
They're so crazy. Okay. So this is the guy who's on the far left, who's, oh, I care so much about the plight of everyone in the world, right? These are the ads that he's doing. Okay.
Mhm.
It's, I couldn't fucking believe this.
Guys, DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over 400 million has already been awarded. That's a lot. Guys, and don't get me started on Huff and More Puff.
So he's selling online gambling.
Yes, Mr. I care about the plight of everyone in the world. I'm such a big socialist. is taking money to shill for online gambling.
Right. Who, these people are paying him money that they've raked in from people who have a gambling addiction. Who
Yes.
probably are poor and are gambling their next fucking mortgage payment away on
Yes.
DraftKings casino.
Why are these people like Hassan? They're just fucking huge hypocrites.
Yeah, they're terrible fucking people. Can you
Yes.
imagine? Look, if I came to Sitch and said, "Hey, I have a potential sponsor here."
Sitch, I have a payday loan company that wants to sponsor.
Oh God, don't get me started. Like, first of all, look, if I came to him with this or he came to me with this, both of our response would be the same. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? No. Like, no, categorically no.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, even then, it's like you're doing this ad read and they like leave in all the mistakes. They don't even like, he's so fucking lazy. He's so immoral that he's doing a fucking shilling for bad company. But then on top of it, so lazy that he does the ad read so poorly. They can't even edit the mistakes out of it.
Well, he would argue that he's doing this to signal to his audience not to go there. Right. He's taking their money, but not saying, don't go there because it's a bad thing.
Wouldn't it be more, which would be funny because he was
just
complaining
to not take the money? Yes.
Yeah, right. Just don't take the money. But he was complaining about Ritchie Torres taking money from nefarious sources in this fucking interview.
Of course. Yeah. Because they're all huge fucking hypocrites.
Jesus Christ.
They have zero moral fiber at all.
No.
Okay. This is he's using the empathy as basically a shield. That's why he's saying, oh, the poor Palestinian children. He's doing exactly what Jordan Peterson said the psychopaths and fraudsters do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Look, I'm so good. I'm so magnanimous. Here, go to DraftKings and spend all of your spend all of your grocery money.
Right.
New players get 500 spins on
Okay, we don't. Is there what's the other?
No, I just don't. Just let it all.
Of course, huff and more puff. Over 10 days, download the app, use the code TAFS to claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot. And of course, huff and more puff. Of course, you get
these things are such a scam.
I know.
I bet you put that $5 in, and the first thing they do is they make you win $25.
Yeah, of course.
They know exactly. They have all the stats on you. They know when they do that they're going to make 10 times that amount of money. They know that you're going to spend $250 after you win that first $25.
It is strange that we're like DraftKings and all this stuff because there used to be growing up a very big social stigma against gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all disappeared. And now it's just like, everyone's like, well, it's on my phone. So I guess that means I guess gambling's totally fine now.
It's very personal. This isn't gambling. This is investing.
Well, the way I look at gambling is the same way I look at drinking. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you go out with your friends, if you go out with your friends, once a week, twice a month, a few times a month, and you go and drink and you have fun, that I have no problem with that. Same thing with gambling. Okay. If you go out very, moderately and gamble, as long as you're not like, you don't have a problem, no problem with that whatsoever. But it's like, it's just like with drinking. But if you come home and you drink alone every day, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't probably do that. That's probably bad. That means you probably have an issue. It's the same thing with like this DraftKings shit, because it's like, okay, you have this thing on your phone. You're going to start gambling every day on your phone. You start gambling whenever there's a sporting event constantly all the time. It's like, it's just not the amount of money that these companies rake in from nonstop gambling that people do. It's crazy. And I forget who I was. I was listening to someone talk about this. The way that a lot of these companies make money is they just slowly chip away at you. Cause like, people make these bets with these crazy odds where like you only have to bet like $5, but if you win, you get $100. But it's like, in order to win, you have to have one person has to get a first down in the first quarter at a specific time, and another person has to get a field goal at another time, and another person has to do a sack at another time. Like there's like all these chain of events that you have to get the $100. And it's obviously like no one's gonna ever fucking win that bet. But because it's only $5 and the payout's $100, everyone's like, oh, it's a steal. I gotta bet on that.
Yeah. Gambling.
spins on Huff and More Puff. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours. And of course, they have Huff and More Puff. Huff and More Puff, guys, I can't tell you how much these 10 days of spins mean to me. Guys, you get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff.
Just drips with insincerity and lazy. It's so
Right.
fucking that bad.
Puff over 10 days. Download the app and use the code TAFS to claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Once again, guys, I let me stress this, okay? I don't want to get this wrong. New players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff.
500 spins, everybody.
Over 10 days. You download the app, use the code TAFS, and you claim your spins after your first $5 wager. That's Huff and More Puff. It's for adults.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 and over. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days, valid for featured game only, and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh my God. The attorney wrote that, definitely.
I know.
After
You know what the next ad is
lawsuit.
for?
Let's see.
Well, you'll see.
Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges, from sleepless nights to stress-filled days, and also a sex one. Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them to
Does he say that it cures your cancer? Does cannabis cure your cancer now?
It does. It does. So here, so the next ad, all for pot. Then the next ad, hilariously, is for a fintech
No
company.
way. No
Yes,
way. Oh, that's
for-
the worst.
Actually, let me see if it's.
All of these
minute.
kids have a bank that is not a bank. What the
Look at all
fuck?
that. It's so
How
funny.
are people falling for this shit?
Look. We have a socialist who's shilling. Listen, this is like unbelievable. We have a socialist who's shilling for a fintech company and citing the Wall Street Journal as why you should buy this product. Okay.
Monarch helps you stay informed so nothing slips through the cracks. It's not just another finance app, guys. Trust the Wall Street Journal, which called it the best budgeting app of 2025. Trust Forbes, which said it's the best app for couples. Trust CNBC, which called it one of the top fintech. I don't even know what that is, but it's fintech. What? A passionate Reddit community of over 34,000 users. Trust that. There's 34.
So apparently you can pay a socialist like Adam Friedland anything, and he'll just say it. Doesn't matter what's up. I bet he could do an ad read for the Israeli government at this point.
1,000 guys talking about the app. That's pretty. I mean, it's impressive. Congrats to Monarch Money. Once again, guys, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code TAFS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code TAFS. Now back to the show.
Okay, and here's the last commercial, the last ad right here.
Lucy, guys, I want to talk to you guys about Lucy. As always, it's 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. Lucy breakers are nicotine pouches with an extra, I don't know, that's gross the way I said it. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken open to release the little extra flavor and hydration. That's how I hydrate myself. So set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. What's my favorite flavor? I like the minty ones because I like to kiss. And what's my favorite strength? I like the top one. I like to get a real buzz, and I pop it in the morning, and I don't stop popping it in until I go to sleep at night.
Selling nicotine to his audience.
Wow.
This is, oh my God. I pop my nicotine in the morning, and I don't stop popping my nicotine until I go to sleep, everybody. Buy
Wow.
fucking nicotine. Jesus Christ. Fucking nicotine pouches. Holy shit.
Boy, he really just has all the worst things, doesn't he?
Yes. We have drugs, gambling, and fintech.
And
These are the
cigarettes.
products. Yes. They're not cigarettes. They're some kind of weird direct nicotine pouch.
Right. Yeah.
Tobacco-free nicotine. There you go. So just this guy is such a fucking hypocrite. He's so full of shit. And you know who I blame for this? You know whose fault this is?
Who?
This is Zero Fox's fault.
Oh yeah. Always.
This is all Zero Fox's fault. Because apparently Zero Fox has informed me with photographic evidence that he went to the same high school as Adam Friedland.
Really?
Yes.
How did you get photographic evidence of this?
Because he has the yearbook.
Oh, really?
He has the yearbook with pictures of Adam Friedland in it.
He probably just looked it up online.
No, I don't think so. I think no, it's legit. It's legit. And obviously, if Zero Fox would have just bullied Adam Friedland a little bit more, okay, given him some more wedgies, some more swirlies, maybe he could have knocked this out of him, right?
What page is Zero Fox's picture on?
I know I didn't ask Zero Fox to dox himself to me.
Dox yourself.
No, he showed me there's a picture that Adam Friedland put himself of his own, like a zoomed in picture of his yearbook. And Zero Fox showed me the same picture, but zoomed out that he has because it's in his yearbook.
Do you know who Adrian Dittman is? Have
No.
you heard of this person? Adrian
No.
Dittman on Twitter says, the 21st century is largely devoid of true philosophers.
Mm-hmm.
To which Elon Musk responds, Rudyard Lynch has potential.
Well, look at that.
Don't you? That's what if all hissed, right?
It's what if all his getting a shout out from Elon Musk. Wow, look at
That's
that.
pretty huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
There
Go
you go.
Rudyard. Congratulations.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I didn't know Elon Musk was a big Rudyard fan. Oh, you know what? I forgot.
He probably likes the stream that he did when he did all those hallucinogens and streamed for like
Right.
12 hours about
Right.
his dreams. That was great.
I had forgot Zero Fox like really I'm not Zero Fox. Ace really wanted to come on the shit about Adam Friedland. I totally forgot. He even DM'd me. He's like, let me on. I totally forgot.
He DM'd me too, but I just
Yeah. I should have responded. I just forget. People DM me and then I'm really bad at getting back to people.
yeah. Well, I
But-
mean, we just had him on, so
That's true. I sent you, and yeah, Ace sent me this clip. And I sent it to you, Adam. This is a classic Adam Friedland clip that was making the rounds the other day. We should bring up when he had Hassan on,
okay, I
which
can
was
bring it up.
pretty bad, pretty horrible.
Terrible Adam Friedland. There's
know.
always time for.
That's true. Ace for $20. Thank you, Ace. Says, guys, get Ace on the show. Look, there he is. He has a dying need to shit on Friedland. Friedland is everything wrong with the far left, moralizing and engaging in weaponized empathy to win a political battle.
Well, I agree with that 100%.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, oh God, it'd be so nice if the left just cleaned up their act so we could just go back to being on the left.
It would be nice
Yeah.
if there was a sensible left that, and this was kind of interesting, and I actually tweeted this out. I don't know what's going to happen, but it'd be nice. You know, everyone's talking about the Taylor Lorenz did her big hit piece where she was attacking Dave Packman and Ryan Tyler Cohen and all sorts of the other like not socialist left YouTubers, essentially.
Mhm.
And she was attacking all of them. And this has made a lot of those people come out and attack not only Taylor Lorenz, but Hassan and Emma Vigeland and all the socialist left. And it's kind of interesting because the operating procedure for the more non-socialist left on the internet was, this is what we watched with the Hutch conversation, was basically to just try to ignore the socialists as much as possible and pretend they don't exist. And Taylor Lorenz has made it impossible by directly attacking all of them. And now they have to attack back. So maybe I'm not holding my breath, but maybe there's a small sliver of a chance that the mainstream left will use this as an opportunity to finally wake the fuck up from their stupor, realize they can't ignore these people any longer and actually come out against them and throw them in the fucking incinerator.
Right. Yeah, it bothers me that so many people on the right do not distinguish between the socialist left and the liberal left. They just think liberalism is socialism.
Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of that is due to the demonization of the word liberal for so many years. And also dumb fucks like libs of TikTok who named the account libs of TikTok instead of like commies of TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really what 99% of the things that libs of TikTok is complaining about or showcasing are far left communists that are not liberal whatsoever.
All right. Ready for the clip? Minute 34 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Who are you going for in Ukraine? What side are you on that?
I'm on I'm on nobody's side. I mean, I think Vladimir Putin's bad, and what he did was wrong.
You are so brave. You think Ukraine guys are like pissed at Gaza?
I would be.
They're like, damn, they're clout sharked.
They're in a weird predicament because like Zelensky is like super pro-Israel.
They keep showing shit that I paused it because no one knows that some clip is up on the screen. Zelensky, Ukraine recognized both Israel and Palestine seek to end suffering of civilians.
He's John Stewart. He's the John Stewart of Ukraine.
That's true. He was. He used to be.
Yeah.
But he's like has to be super pro-Israel because like he's pro-NATO. He's pro like American State Department, right? And that's what the American State Department is signaling, that they're like super pro-Israel.
Ukraine sends Palestine 1,000 tons of flour.
Meanwhile, in the early stages, when Russia was invading Ukraine, Zelensky was like, hey, can we get the Iron Dome? Like, that would be nice. They're fucking shelling us like nonstop. And Benjamin Netanyahu was like, fuck no. He stopped it.
You know all this stuff?
Yeah, it's our tech as Americans. Like, it's our tech to give to Ukraine. And Benjamin Netanyahu was like, nope.
You know how I feel about Ukraine versus Russia?
How?
Sounds about white, dude. Not my problem. That is not my problem.
Jesus fucking Christ.
For real?
For
real? Wow.
Adam Friedland should be shot into the sun by a cannon. First of all, he's like, Hassan is saying all these basic talking points I all heard, and Friedland is like, oh, you're so smart. I can't believe you know all this stuff. Like, okay, isn't that what you do?
Complete idiot.
You had this whole thing where you're berating fucking Ritchie Torres. I thought that's what you do is you talk about politics and current events and you interview people and you're acting like the shit that Hassan's saying, some sort of like genius take. Just fucking stupid. But then on top of that, this racist piece of shit is like, oh, well, because it's white people killing white people, I don't care.
Yeah.
Totally playing into the alt-right's, stereotypes of Jews, by the way.
Of Jewish people. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Fucking racist, disgusting piece of shit.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
What a scumbag. I couldn't hate a person more than Friedland. He's a disgusting, worthless fucking human.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the Holocaust deniers have this stereotype that Jewish people only care about themselves.
Right.
You dumb motherfucker.
Yes, right. Or anti-white. And he's like, oh, well, if it's white people killing white people, then that's fine. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
So I guess he only cares about Israel Palestine because, well, there's some non-whites involved in that. So he's got to take their side, I guess.
And Hassan gives him a fist bump over that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Cracker himself, Hassan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm so fucking ecstatic. I'm so fucking happy that Adam Friedland's disgusting, despicable, degenerate loser ass is selling gambling and nicotine to his audience. I hope everyone who watches Friedland regularly dies of cancer and spends all their money on online gambling. So I'm fucking glad that he's just shilling poison to his audience.
Yeah. We hope you die homeless, alone, and under a bridge.
I know.
With massive AIDS infection.
Yes. Oh, my feelings. my feelings, Ritchie Torres. I just feel like I didn't want to have this conversation where I berate you like a beta soy cuck, but I did.
Mm-hmm. I wonder
Jesus
why.
Christ. What a scumbag. J-Mac for $20. Thanks so much. Circuit Fire Dad. J-Mac for $20 says, ladies, if your man acts like this, it's a major red flag. Head for the hills, change your number, and block him on everything. True.
Yes.
True.
Was that in the... I don't see that super chat. Oh, I
No.
guess I do. Never
That's
mind.
there. Renegade Gremlin for $20 says, my local government is in cahoots with gambling machine manufacturers. So they made it so casinos get liquor licenses easier than restaurants. Most of our restaurants have casinos in them. It makes the whole town look scummy. That's crazy.
Yeah, the
That's
local
terrible.
governments love that shit because of they get huge tax revenue from it.
Right.
So, which is
Right.
unfortunate, super unfortunate.
Speaking of money
Mm-hmm.
and giving us money, I didn't know about this until recently, but it has come to YouTubers' attention. This is crazy. If you are listening
Who are
to
you going
us
for in Ukraine?
on an
What
Apple
side are
product,
you on that?
okay,
I'm on.
and you have the YouTube app, which you've downloaded through the Apple App Store, if you donate money through that app to us, Apple takes a third of whatever you donate to us away from us and from YouTube, and they just put it in their pocket.
What?
So if you are on an Apple product and you have the YouTube app, whether it's like an Apple phone or something, and you have the YouTube app that you've downloaded through the Apple Store, if you give money to us through Super Chat from an Apple product, Apple will steal a third of that money that you're giving to us.
For real? Really?
Yes, for real.
I mean, I've super chatted on my iPhone before, so
Well, there you go.
what the fuck? For real?
And then what happens is YouTube will then take, I don't even know if they take a third. I think YouTube still takes a third of the total amount. Not even the reduced amount.
So we get Apple takes a third, 2/3
Yeah.
is left, and then YouTube takes a third of that.
Yes.
We're really getting screwed. We're
Yes.
getting like 50% maybe.
Yes.
Wow.
So do not send a super chat via the YouTube Apple app. If you're on an Apple product,
that's probably 90% of the super chat.
It's crazy.
Look,
I know.
every time it's $19.99, that is a phone. Every
Well, it
time
can be a
it's
non-Apple phone. But
no, the 99 cents is the difference. You can tell which is a phone and which is a computer by if it's 00, it's because when I super chat on my computer, it's 00. When I super chat on my phone, it's 99 cents.
right.
So that is like a tell right there. So you can see Renegade here is a 19.99. That's a phone.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know how this is legal. This should be fucking illegal. This is insane.
Yeah.
How this would even function. So.
Well, the App Store, they take a cut of so much shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think Samsung does this. I don't believe Android does this.
What Twitter, I think, was like $10 if you did it through the apps, if you did it through the App Store, and $8 if you did it through a computer because of that.
Because of this. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I did sign up. When I did have Twitter, I signed up for it through my computer to avoid that $2 surcharge.
So if you have an Apple product, make sure you're doing it through, the browser or something instead, or use Streamlabs. Don't give a super chat through Apple because they'll just jack a bunch of fucking money from it randomly. So
yeah, because it's through. I guess you download the YouTube app through the Apple Store when you download it on an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
now I don't know. Again, I don't know if Samsung's doing this too. I hope they're not. I haven't heard people complain about it. Maybe they are, but this is fucking crazy if this is the case. So terrible. And I am curious because the Trump administration wants to put streaming. Oh, it's because of Google Play Store and Google YouTube. Oh, I guess you're right. That makes sense. It is a Google Play Store, so that wouldn't make sense for Google to do it. That's a good point. Okay. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because, yeah, Android uses the Google Play Store. So that I guess that's probably safe. But with the whole no
they
tax
could be
on.
taking 50% on. They could be doing the exact same.
I hope
thing,
that would be even crazier.
just taking a
but-
bigger cut.
Right. I don't believe they are, but don't quote me on that. But I do wonder because now with the whole no tax on tips things, which is supposed to include streamers. However, unless I'm
Mhm.
mistaken, if you read the bill, it says that it's for things that are qualified as tips. And I believe that super chats currently do not qualify as tips. YouTube would have to either the government would have to change the definition of tips, which I'm not sure. I don't believe the no tax on tips bill or that part of the legislation, because part of a larger legislation, actually did redefine the definition of tips. So I think YouTube is still going to have to change things to actually have that go into effect for streamers.
It seems like they would have massive incentive to change it because their ultimate goal is to attract people to the role of content creator. And that would be a giant way to attract more people, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they would themselves wouldn't get that much money from it.
It's capped
there's
at
a
a
cap.
certain amount. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's like $25,000 or something is like the cap.
Right.
Which
But
for us would be a lot, but for YouTube is nothing.
Right.
So, but you're right. That's a good point because it would be a massive, like if YouTube could say, hey, come to YouTube versus Twitch or Rumble or something, no tax on tips. That'd be a huge thing. And actually, I'm sure all the streaming services you think would jump on this because it'd be a huge selling point to get creators to come on the platform.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll change things in the coming months to try to accommodate that.
We'll get you in that MAGA hat.
There you go.
Look, I only have to wear the MAGA hat if Trump stops the Ukraine war.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah. If he gets a peace deal in Ukraine, I said I would wear the MAGA hat. So I don't think the chances of that happening are
right.
even remote. So unfortunately, I mean, I would like to wear the MAGA hat and have a peace deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in favor of the war in Ukraine.
No. Micro Omega, thanks so much for joining the Free Will Seekers.
Welcome.
Adam Godbot, thanks so much for 37 months. Says Rhythm with the Tism. There you go. Listen, I like Ritchie Torres. I like that he's just trying to be unemotional and logical. I don't think that most people like that. In fact, I did see from all the people that were kind of watching these clips out of context, they'd all be like, oh my God, Ritchie Torres he has no emotion. He's so dead inside. And Adam Friedland's emoting so much because he's crying. And I'm like, okay. Like, that's just how people perceive information.
Have you seen him give a stump speech though? I mean, it could be night and day.
It could be. Return Sasquatch for $5 says Adam was on a podcast called Cumtown. Yes. Was a fantastic podcast. Friedland was the heel of the show. Nick and Stavy would bumpy him. It was epic. Oh, really? Bully him, he says, for another $2. Really? That's interesting. Because I thought they were all socialists. So I assume they were all kind of on board with each other. But it would make sense if he was the heel and he would get annihilated. How's the question? If he's the heel of the show and people just get like the bit of the show is he's getting bullied, how then does he do a spin-off interview show? Like that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Because he had victim points. Everyone was like, oh, I feel sorry for him. I'm going to watch his stupid show. I'm going to pick up some gambling habits and some nicotine habits.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. PC for $5 says, of course, the socialists would promote gambling. It gets you used to the man taking all your money while they tell you, I'm sure you'll win next time. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Commander Caleb Furtado says, Cumtown wasn't a socialist podcast, just three comedians being edgy. Friedland being this overtly political is a recent disappointing development. His co-host Nick and the actual funny one also just left TFS. I feel like that's not true. I've always heard people on the far left sing the praises of Cumtown being a socialist podcast.
I've never listened to it.
I never listened to it, so maybe they were just fucking gaslighting this whole time, but that was always the way that they described it.
Trying to get us to listen to it because they know we love socialism so much.
Well, I'd always see like bread tubers pushing that shit to other socialists. So that's always, I just assumed that they're correct, but maybe they're wrong. Or maybe they're just gaslighting, but Friedland definitely comes off that way. Well, I know it's primarily like they were doing primarily comedy, but there's still going to be a political ideology running through it to some extent. Archaya, thank you so much for the $10. I probably said your name wrong. Archaya says, "Hey, Sitch, I'm a long-time listener, first-time donator. Thank you. I was curious on your perspective on Instagram Reels. The videos recommended to me are way more damaging of Israel's public opinion, a public image than TikTok."
Yeah, I don't have Instagram, so I don't scroll through Instagram at all. I don't know about the real situation, so.
Yeah, I'd never had an Instagram account ever. And it's actually annoying because sometimes I'll be trying to like research something and I'm like, it's like, oh, it's a fucking Instagram post. And I have to go there. And I think you can do it on my computer, but if I'm on my phone, I can't look because it's like, you're
Yeah,
a
they want you to
super
log
fucking
in.
account. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, no, I don't have Instagram. I've never looked on it. So I'm unfamiliar with the Instagram Reels situation.
I have a super old Instagram account that I posted paintings and stuff on. So I technically have an Instagram account. I haven't had Instagram on my phone forever.
The entire internet apparatus, the internet political apparatus is anti-Israel on both sides at the moment. There's not really a strong push to be pro-Israel on the internet. It's not seen as like cool by any by really
No,
anyone.
not at
So,
all. Well, the
yeah.
internet skews young. It's a lot of young people, and a lot of young
Right,
people are
right,
anti-war, obviously, because they have to fight in those wars. So they're like,
right.
fuck that. They sleep better at night knowing that they're not going to be shipped off to fight in some foreign war, which
Sure.
I can agree with. Look, I thought about that when I was young. There was wars going on, and I thought, holy fuck, they're going to draft my ass and send me over there.
Right.
Fuck that.
Well, I mean, no one's getting drafted to go to Israel, so it doesn't even make any sense. But
Well, young people aren't really as smart as older people, so
okay.
it doesn't necessarily matter that that's never going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because they believe it's going to happen and they're still going to worry about it and lose sleep over it. So,
Right.
yeah.
But Libertarian Sasquatch says, Cumtown wasn't a socialist show. I can't think of one political thing other than Nick going on a cocaine fuel Pizzagate rants. Oh, okay. Interesting. Because I always heard people categorize them as like the dirtbag left show, but I never listened to it. So, oh, wait a minute. You know what? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm confusing Cumtown with Chapo Trap House. That's probably what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's
Chapo Trap
completely
House was
different.
socialist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm conflating these two things.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking.
Yeah. Chapo Trap House was the socialist one, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay.
But I don't know anything about this other podcast, so
That's probably what I was doing.
I was just going by what you were saying because you seem to have heard a lot about it. But I guess
Okay.
if all that you heard about it was actually just Trap.
I was thinking of Chapo Trap House the whole time. Well, thank you. I totally made a mistake there. Thank you, Libertarian Sasquatch, and other people for pointing that out. Though obviously Adam Friedland went down that pathway now, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's trying to get in with the left.
Yeah.
He's like, I can be young and hip.
They were friends with Chapo Trap House. Oh, that is their sister podcast? Okay, well then wait, what the fuck's happening there? What do you guys thought? What's going on here? All right, whatever. Anyway, it's fine. Brian for $5 says, Cumtown doesn't focus on politics that often, but everyone on there has at least progressive politics. Oh, okay. Interesting. There you go. Yeah, Adam. Shinto says, Adam, you should Google Cumtown for research, right?
Fuck no.
Yeah, there you go. Our League for $2 says, Anna supporting Zoran Mamdani is pretty wild. Is it? I assume that would be par for the course. Not really surprised.
I think it's wild. I didn't know she was supporting Mamdani.
She's like going full.
I thought that was a troll.
Populist stuff.
Is that for real?
I assume it was for real. Was it a troll? I assumed it was real. I don't know. Though I would think she would be against Mamdani's very soft on crime stuff. That's where she kind of differs from a lot of the left people.
I'm gonna look into it. Mamdani,
you look into it.
Anna,
let us
Kasparian.
know. You let us know what's going on there.
It's funny because everyone, as soon as she deviates a little bit from our perspective, it's like everyone wants us to, they want me to be in her DMs going, oh, trying to coach her into the right direction or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
as if that's a thing. I mean, look, she helped us out a lot by blowing up our profile a bit by coming on our show, which was nice of her. Obviously, I would consider her a friend. We communicate back and forth and talk about stuff. I just if she has strong opinions about things, I'm not going to really try to argue her out of those
You
opinions.
can't fix her. Is that what you're saying?
I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be Adam Friedman lecturing.
I know.
Ritchie Torres, right? Look, she has her own opinions. So I do like the best thing that we can do is if she does a video or something, is watch the video and respond to it, and you guys can weigh in. And a lot of times she watches the content, so we can, she likes feedback like that, so we can give her our feedback. I don't know that it's going to change her mind though.
Mm-hmm.
Here is Zora Mandani gets attacked by his own party. Young Turks video. The elite is full blown panic over Mandani. None of these seem super supportive.
That seems pro if you're like the elites. The elites
Oh wait,
aren't worried
Anna
about it.
Kasparian shuts down Lindy Lee's Mamdani attacks. Oh, what's this?
Her, I know that we're not going to agree on Israel, and that's fine. Obviously, people disagree on all sorts of things, but I do think Anna's insinuation or claim that Israel did 9/11 is completely crazy and unfounded.
You don't think Israel did 9/11?
I don't think Israel did 9/11.
No.
I think it's pretty ridiculous to even
Did you
draw
really
that
make that claim?
See, as I said, it was, I guess, implied or insinuated or something on X, because she was bringing up the whole dancing Israeli thing, which people only ever bring up to say Israel did 9/11. So I was like pretty surprised, pretty shocked to see that post. But
if our league, if you have a clip or something, send it to us.
Arkea, thanks so much for joining the Free Will Seekers. Andrew Brer for $2 says he has the most stuffy nose voice, sick and whiny. Yeah, I thought my voice was fucking obnoxiously whiny, but Jesus,
that's what
it's
you
a whole nother
think your
level.
voice is like. Look,
I'm glad
there's
it's not
no
that
way
bad.
I could do a podcast with you if your voice was that bad. Jesus Christ.
Right.
I'd want to off myself.
Sketch for $5 says silence was violence, but also speaking up meant you were literally Hitler. True.
Yeah.
True.
All that bullshit.
Ace for $10 says Friedland made light of the invasion of Ukraine. A genocide happened there too, but that is something to like little of because Ukrainians are white. Friedland is a coward. Very, very true.
Yeah, very true.
And a racist piece of shit. Metalworks for 11.9, thanks so much for $5 says it's a shame you guys are streaming the same day as Silk Song came out, but it's not so bad since it crashed all the storefronts, so no one could play it. That is hilarious and not even remotely surprising, actually.
Silk Song, that's a new game?
Yeah, there's a game called Hollow Knight, which is really good, which I played and everyone played, like, I don't remember when it came out, 2017. It's been a while. And so there's been a meme about the sequel, Silk Song, when it would ever come out. And it's always been like, oh, it would never come out. It was like Half-Life 3. This game's never fucking come out. It keeps getting delayed. And then all of a sudden, kind of out of the blue, they're like, oh, this game's going to come out in like a couple weeks. So everyone was like hyped as shit. And it came out today. And I assumed, I'm like, oh, I bet you it's going to, I thought of that too. I'm like, I bet it's going to crash Steam and everywhere else. And supposedly that's what actually happened. Steam and everything else went down because so many people wanted to buy this game. Which, listen, that's good for Silk Song. That really shows you people are really, all that hype, all the years of hype, I guess, worked in their favor. It didn't dissuade anyone from playing. Everyone was on board. So good for them. Hope it's good.
Is it based on an anime or something?
No. It's original. It's a sequel, but the original is just an original game.
Oh, okay. It's a sequel to a game.
Yes. Yeah.
I just wonder how you build hype for something that's just a brand new property.
No.
I guess you can, but that's much more difficult.
It's a sequel to Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was widely acclaimed, and it should have been. It was a very, very good game. So people are just really hyped for the sequel to come out.
Cool.
I mean, I'm gonna play Silksong too at some point, but obviously I didn't have time today. So
Oh, you played Hollow Knight?
yes, I did. It's very good.
What kind of game is it? Do you get to run around and shoot people?
No, it's well, I'm gonna
Damn.
say everyone says it's a Metrovania, which you don't know what that means. It's it's a you have a little sword. You're like a little ant guy with a sword, and you run around and you fight bugs on a giant map.
Okay.
That it's really about exploring the lore and the story of Hollow Knight, which is very deep and dark and interesting. And
So there's a story, a narrative that you're hooked by.
oh yeah, there's a
it's
very
like a mystery.
It's the main character just doesn't talk, and there's not really a lot of dialogue. Like there's some characters
He's
you can talk
stoic,
to.
very masculine.
Well, he doesn't talk, so yeah. And actually, there's a game reason for why he doesn't talk. But it's one of those games where you really learn the story just by like the visuals and talking to people and the exploration of the environment. If you like those sort of like, it's very immersive. There's like you get a lot of tone and theme from just being in the place. Everything is very bleak. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. It's like a world where like everyone was bugs, but everything is like post-apocalyptic. Most of society has become animalistic or possessed by this sort of like almost like a zombie virus that has possessed all these bug people. And you're just this one little character in, one little bug in the world, and you're trying to like figure out what's going on, maybe save the world in the process.
And it's an indie game? It says
Yes.
publisher Team Cherry.
Team Cherry, yeah. And if you look at it, I mean, it looks beautiful. Like the animation of the game is just so beautiful. It's all looks like, like I mean, I don't think it was hand drawn.
I thought you didn't care about imagery, Sitch.
Well, I know other people care about it.
Oh, okay.
I know other people care about it, but everything looks
no
very
imagery
beautiful.
Sells. Imagery totally sells.
A very beautiful game. So if you like these sort of like hacky slashy explore games, then this, and you've never played Hollow Knight, which first of all, I don't know how anyone got to 2025 who likes those sorts of games, never played it. But if you haven't, you should play it. It's fantastic.
It's a 10 out of 10 on Steam. Wow.
Yep. I've never heard anyone ever
95% liked this video game
of Hollow Knight. No. So the animation Silksong is even better so far. Wow. There you go.
Did we ever play Fallout?
No, Fallout guys or Fallout
we played Borderlands, right?
No, we played Borderlands. Fallout's not a multiplayer. Well, no, there was one multiplayer version, but we never played it. So
they're coming out with a season 2 of Fallout in December. Looks pretty good.
Right. That's right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We were kind of iffy on the first season.
I mean, there's a lot to like in there. There's some real big fuck ups that I didn't like, obviously. So hinging so much of the plot on what is in the silo next door and then giving a bunch of clues that would be impossible. Our world contradictory was not cool, but whatever.
Right. Oh my God, you're right. That's funny. The Hollow Knight Silksong came out before George R. R. Martin's 6th book.
Oh, really? They beat Martin.
That's pretty bad.
On their Game of Thrones.
That's pretty bad. When did Dance of Dragons come out? 2011. Oh my God. So Hollow Knight came out 2017. Dance of Dragons came out 2011. They were able to create an entire video game before he finished his next book.
These video games have to be a massive amount of work. I mean, I've done a comic and that was a massive amount of work, but
it took them 8 years. 8 years for the sequel. And they still beat George R. R. Martin's fucking 6th book. That's crazy. Holy shit. If Half-Life 3 comes out before Winds of Winter, it's just over. He should just stop. That'd be the most embarrassing thing of all time. Oh my God. Half-Life, let's see. When did Half-Life Episode 2 come out? That is like Half-Life 3 is like the mythical game that no one ever thinks will ever come out. It came out in Episode 2 came out in 2007. No one thinks this game will ever be finished. So that's funny. JMac Circuit Fire, thanks so much. Daddy JMac for $20 says No Man's Sky also released a massive update last week, and the community expedition started yesterday. Basically took what Starfield was trying to do and did it better. Wow. I've always heard good things about No Man's Sky, but I've never played it, partially out of fear that I would play it too much. So
That's always good. You know your
I know
you know your addiction.
I know my weaknesses. Yes. I always saw it and I said that looks a little too engaging for me.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there was the Half-Life VR game, but it was a prequel-ish. So our word for 2 hours says, "Hey, it's cool." Adam Beetle.
Yeah, I think
What?
that's.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's happening there, but it might be that he thinks Adam Friedland is cool or a bug.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Brian for $10 says Friedland legitimately sounds like a child who can't control his emotions. Also, it seems like he'd be okay if Israel didn't exist. Torres sounds like the lone reasonable voice on the left. Very true.
Yeah, which makes him a threat.
Right. Metalworks 411 for $2 says I'm playing Silk Song right now, and it's a challenge. Like a good challenge or a bad challenge? I hope that's like a good thing, right?
Sure. I
Ace for
guess if you
$5
want a
says
challenge.
Ukrainians have faced oppression from Russia since the 900s and have faced every evil known to man. I don't see a Ukrainian Hamas. Wow.
Right.
There you go.
Makes sense.
Elite Dangerous is better. Is Elite Dangerous? I think there was some game I tried to play. I don't remember if it was Elite Dangerous. It was like a space game. And the controls were so complicated that I gave up after like I literally tried to play this game for an hour and it was just too my brain is too stupid. I was like, there's too many controls to fly this fucking spaceship. I can't I was like, what's going on here? I feel like I need like the fucking control panels from the Star Trek Next Generation to do this. I don't remember if it was Elite Dangerous or something else, but some people love that, but I'm too stupid. Potato for 20 knock knocks says, have you watched the trigonometry chat with Netanyahu? I did. I didn't think it was that interesting. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't know.
I didn't think it was that interesting. I don't think anyone can really have an interesting conversation with Netanyahu because, he's not going to answer. He's not going to answer any like question that would interest people, I think, in any way whatsoever.
Matt Geddes explains our word. It's super chat. He says it's a Cumtown meme that Adam is a bug and Cool Adam is a joke about him being a cuck. I guess he's cool because he lets other guys fuck his girlfriend.
Is that true? Is he actually confirmed? That wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me either. He probably sits in the corner and like whines about it the whole time though.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Oh my God. What a loser.
Sade Ray for 5 SGD says, if one thinks that Israel's committing genocide supported by America and people were denying it, I can understand how one can become very emotional. That's true. But you don't have to be, as I said, I think if you broke down into tears crying about it, it would be 100 times less soy than the way that Friedland was going about it. Just be completely upfront and just have like a straight, direct conversation about it. Don't do this like weird passive aggressive, I'm going to attack you, but then when you push back, I'm going to pretend like I wasn't attacking you. That's disgusting. That's what's like really off-putting.
Yeah, these people want to believe that though. I mean, there's so many ways that they can dispel that narrative, but they're not trying to dispel that narrative, which is what bugs the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. Alekia for 6 months says, truth of aid is Israel gets credit and has to buy U.S. arms. It's U.S. arms industry subsidies and weapons beta testing. Aid is 100% in U.S.'s self-interest. I think that's generally the case. That's why U.S. engages in it. That's why I thought this whole kind of framing of it, now you could be against it because you think it's bad for the region or the people there, which in a lot of cases, as you talked about, is probably the case, especially when you're giving aid to third world countries. But that's why it was annoying to me in the whole conversation with everyone trying to cut all the aid. I was like, because it was all framed as like, oh, you're just taking money from Americans and just giving it away for no reason. I'm like, okay, I don't think you understand how the U.S. government works, if that's what you think's going on here. Ace for $10 says, Friedland is evidence that bullies were our dark night. They took all the hate from us to put people like Friedland in their place. Hashtag make bullies great again. There you go. Terrible.
That's funny.
So
much of the last decade was spent on anti-bullying campaigns.
Right. Libertarian Sasquatch for $5 says, "I'll say it. How long can you use October 7th as justification? It starts to ring a little hollow the longer it drags on. It seems less about that. It wouldn't be a well. It depends. Justification for what? If you say it's why the war started and why Israel is in the position of probably never trusting Gaza again. I mean, you could say, well, that was so long ago. That was 2 years ago. Okay, but that's why the war started and why they'll never trust Gaza again. I don't know what you want from me. You have to be actually like the Israeli government would have to be fucking stupid. And the Israeli people have to be fucking stupid at this point to be like, oh yes, we're gonna, trust Hamas to govern Gaza. So now if you say it's a justification to just like wipe everyone out, kill everyone, I never agree with that position anyway. But
Yeah, it was never justification for that. Yeah.
Brian for $5 says Friedland is basically using this podcast as a therapy session. Why is he telling his life story? LOL. Because he's soy.
Yeah.
Paul Watson for $2 says in the Bronx they're thinking about who to mug. Terrible. Ace for $5 says, guys, Ace sent a DM. Why you refer to yourself with third person? You could just say I did. Guys, Ace sent a DM showing how Friedland reacted to the war in Ukraine, and you can see how full of it Friedland is. Yes, thank you for sending that clip. That clip is pretty crazy. The whole white thing is just despicable and disgusting.
Ace wants to make a YouTube channel. I think we should encourage him. I think he should definitely make a YouTube channel.
You should do it. Nomad for 28 months says, thank you so much. Says, boys, if you want to have a good laugh at Adam Friedland, listen to the beginning of Come Town episode 267. Spoiler, he shits himself and cries afterwards. What? Somebody find this clip. I need this clip. There's a clip of Adam Friedland shitting himself and then crying. Come on. You're kidding me.
That's
amazing.
Good, right?
That's amazing. Somebody find this. What is the time code? Give me time codes for this. I demand time codes for this. Okay. Right now.
Adam Friedland. Come Town. Adam poops himself.
Right.
Adam soils himself with Ariel pink.
Give me time codes for this.
Well, I just looked it up. Here, I'll throw it in the watch together. Come Town archive.
Okay. That's amazing. Sketch for $10 says, remember years ago when we roasted Cody Johnson for doing ad reads from the same Raycon headphones that Bench did ad reads for? The more things change, the more things they stay the same. Very true. Very, very true. Metalworks. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Yeah. That was about the challenge of Hollow Knight. Oh, there was some Streamlabs I missed, I think, from the other day, unfortunately. I did. Sorry about that. Solo, I think I missed your Streamlabs. This was from Sunday for $4. Says, this guy I know with massive TDS told me he still thinks he had a medical emergency, but that he recovered. Oh, he's talking about Trump. Also, Adam, are you getting my DMs? I had to set up a new account last month because my old one is still suspended.
I don't know. There's music in this.
That's
well, who was that?
Solo.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me look.
Okay. And then Salah said the UK has an uncodified constitution based on statute and tradition. Basically, the only thing that matters is Parliament can pass any law they want. The only thing stopping them is the European Convention on Human Rights. Wow. I didn't know that.
Send me a DM now and I'll see.
I don't know if Solo's in the chat.
From Sulla.
If you're in the chat, Solo, send Adam a DM.
Yeah. And look, I looked at my message request and I got zip 0 zilch. I wonder if it's hiding some or some.
Dr. Dealer for $3 says, pick-me's are the single most irritating group of people on earth, from white people who advocate for black supremacists to Jews that think death to the Jew is just a mistranslation from a very musical people, honest. Oh, Saul is here. Saul for another $2 says, you missed my Streamlabs from Tuesday. You're right. I apologize. By the way, I've been in a Discord debate with Zoomers over hate speech, and they're saying we have to stop the next Hitler. They're inciting violence. The U.S. isn't much better on free speech. Well,
this is why they compare everyone to Hitler.
I know.
So that they can shut people up. They're like,
Yep.
look, we have to do it. It's for the greater good.
Comfort
The
zone.
great
You're
Dargood.
Jim-
Arithmetic for 2 hours says
so-
Israel's trying to pay off Hamas makes some sense to me. According to the dictator's handbook, it's more effective for democracies to bribe authoritarians to do what they want since they're not accountable to their people. Though obviously with Hamas, it did not work whatsoever. So I guess they weren't paying them; they were allowing them to receive payment. So. Sell for $2 says I can send you the screenshots, edit the blackout usernames, profile pics if you want, unless you think that's still violation of privacy. These are both American and Scottish kids. Gen Z is fucked. I mean, you don't have to send it to me. I believe you're recounting them. I've interacted with people, Gen Z and older, who've made the same kinds of arguments. And there's been like those weird polls. I forget the exact numbers, but there's been weird polls about a lot of Gen Z people are, iffy on the concept of freedom of speech on both the left and the right, or iffy on fucking democracy and people's right to vote on the left and right. So I am worried about the future of America. It's because of all the how brain rot it seems like some of the Zoomers are.
Yeah. They don't have faith in any of our institutions, which really sucks. They hate it all.
I don't think this is the clip of him shitting himself.
Yeah, doesn't seem like
This
it,
is him
does
just talking about. Like I found the episode where it happens, but I don't know like at what point should I watch? What point should we go to here?
it? I don't know. Did we finish super chats? I kind of
We
lost.
did.
Okay.
Finish Super. Oh,
Uh-oh.
we came and watch it on the watch together.
Yeah. Age restricted.
Oh, it's age restricted. Oh, that's interesting because he shit himself. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we'll maybe we'll see if I can pull a clip of it. Well, maybe we'll watch it some other time. So we'll have to do some preparation. See if because we don't really want the stream to get age gated. But that's pretty hilarious. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, thanks.
Adam Friedland shit himself and then cried about it on air.
We've all come
Anyways.
to expect that from Adam Friedland. So,
Yes.
all right, great show. A lot of fun. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you want us to cover anything. Let us know how much you hate Adam Friedland.
Yes. Send any things you think would be good for Sunday to us on X.
Exactly.
And we'll see you then.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Click the button.
Button clicked.